Good morning, everyone. If you are new here, my name is Brian Craig. We're live on the radio every morning from 6 until 9 a.m. here in South Florida. We broadcast on a few different radio stations, and we talk about all the issues in the news, take calls from our radio listeners, and you guys on YouTube are welcome to call in toll-free. Numbers behind me, 888-465-2631. It's also in the description to comment on all the issues that are going on. Obviously, today we're going to talk about all the new info on this guy in Boulder is what we'll start with. But there's a lot of other things to talk about, too. Make sure you're subscribed. Click that notification bell. And everybody in there, if you could do me the favor of liking the video, that helps. This is our top of the hour break. The show's just about to start. And we got about, a little bit of time left. Oops, here we go.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FM.
George, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, George. I appreciate that. $5 super chat from George. Everybody thank George. Thank you.
Longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE 1. And now, here's...
All right, guys. Welcome, one and all. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. And, of course, we are live on the radio weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m. here in South Florida, broadcasting live on the South Florida radio dial at AM 1470, 95.3 FM, and 96.9 on the FM radio dial. Welcome, everyone. And, of course, we have an overnight rebroadcast, midnight till 6 a.m. on all those radio stations as well. So, actually, weekdays, this program is on the radio Monday through Friday, midnight until 9 a.m. That's a lot of time, isn't it? Yeah, welcome. Well, there's lots going on. We got a lot of information on this Boulder shooting suspect, which we're going to talk about here in the beginning because some major new information has come around. Now, I was talking about this on my podcast last night, which you all should listen to. And if you want to catch my podcast, I also upload it to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube. It's a separate show that I do from this with my wife, Kathy, is my co-host. Check that out. But, there have been, every time there's a terrible incident, okay, like what happened in Boulder, Parkland, Columbine, the Pulse nightclub, immediately, you could almost, it's almost like 1, 2, 3, and here it goes. You start hearing talk about the Second Amendment restrictions, gun control. Biden's talking about, they call it executive actions now instead of executive orders, even though it's executive orders is what it really is, but they call it action because an order is, it doesn't sound as good as an action. It's not like you're forcing people to do something. The left immediately come out with, okay, if we only had gun control, none of this would happen. And of course, from the right, you know what you get. It's no matter what the incident is, it's the same discussion, frankly, from both sides. And I want to ask you guys a question. I'm going to throw this out to you before we get into the details of this new guy to answer this for me, because I don't know everything, and I could be very wrong about this, and maybe you'll have all kinds of examples. But let's go back. Let's don't go back 100 years. Let's go back to Columbine, which was 1999, 22 years ago. And that was a terrible day. Oh, my goodness. Columbine. Wow. That was a rough one. And what happens in all of these god-awful shootings is, it's beyond imagination what people have had to deal with in the aftermath of these things. But immediately it becomes political every time. And since Columbine, there has been this, every time there's an incident, there's been a big discussion about gun control, Second Amendment rights, changing this, changing that. Can you give me an example of anything meaningful from either side, the right or the left, since Columbine that has been done that has saved one life, that has made us safer from any of these things. I mean, after Columbine, that was 1999. Look what happened in Parkland. You would think in a school setting, things would be completely different. Nothing. It seems to me nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all, it would seem to me. Harley, $9.99 Super Chat. Good morning to you. Thank you for that Super Chat. Everybody thank Harley. And that's how it seems to work to me. And we're going to talk about what happened and the new things that have come out about the suspect, the shooter, and everything in the aftermath of that. But when it comes to gun control, it's a discussion. And now this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion, and I'm throwing this out to you guys. You can disagree with me. It is okay. We thrive on disagreement on this program. But after every single one of these horrible events, both sides, especially the left, have talked about this and that, and we're going to do this, and if we did that, it would stop it. What has changed? Not even the rhetoric seems to have changed to me. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. And there's also something that has not been factored into this rhetoric. Biden came out and he's talking about executive orders now and assault weapon bans. And, there's something that I started talking about this after the horrible events in Parkland in our very own community here. The topic of gun bans and gun control, okay? Because of the advancements in technology, all of the rhetoric you hear is very dated. And let me explain to you what I mean. If every single gun in America was confiscated or surrendered, let's just say that we had a national awakening and everyone, from even Wayne LaPierre, decided we're going to turn in our guns. And I believe the number of guns in this country, the number of guns that are in this country is so large that even most people that are gun owners, like me, I'm a gun owner, have been really my entire life. I hardly remember a time in my life. I had my first gun when I was 12. It was a hunting rifle, a .410 shotgun that was my grandfather's that they gave me to go hunting with. Okay, so I've always been around guns and everything, and I own multiple guns too. Only one of them I have purchased. The other guns were passed down through the family to me. But if every gun were willingly surrendered and confiscated today, and there was not another gun manufactured by any of the big gun manufacturers, there would be guns on the street the next day because of the advancements in 3D printing technology. And, people can talk all day about waiting periods and banning this, and if we get rid of that type of gun, none of these things will happen. With 3D printing technology, weapons can be made on these very easily, and if there was a ban on any particular gun, including the assault weapons, the AR-15s, the 3D printing technology would be going in overdrive and advance light years overnight. So the talk on gun control is just, it goes around and around and around in circles. And, most of the gun control talk comes from, of course, Democrats, but liberal people that have spent their life either in government, like Joe Biden, or come from these huge urban centers, right, like New York and places like that. And what I've learned over the years, it's an interesting thing about guns and things like this. I've always been around guns. There's never been a time in my life that I can remember that there were not guns, even when I was a young child, in the home. My grandfather was a police officer before I was born. He always had guns all over the place. And if when I would go to my grandparents' house, my dad's parents, not only were there guns all over the place, that were all loaded, they were everywhere. I mean, I remember my grandfather would keep a 38 on the kitchen table, and it wasn't holstered or locked, or we didn't even hear of gun locks back then. All loaded, rifles, shotgun, all over the place. And I never touched any of them because I knew better. I was, taught about them. But people that advocate for the gun control, oftentimes they come from these big liberal places and they're afraid of guns and they don't know anything about guns. And they fear guns, and that's why they want to ban. And I understand people being afraid that haven't grown up around them like I have, and a lot of you have. Now, I'm not one of these people. I don't have a concealed weapon that I permit. I don't walk around with a concealed weapon on me. A lot of people have. I talk about this over the years. I don't care. Most people that do conservative radio all tell you about their concealed weapon permits, and they have a gun. Like Hannity and others. I don't. Now at home, that's a whole nother deal. But as I'm going around and about in my day, I don't have a concealed weapon permit, and I don't have a gun on my person. I don't travel around with a gun, and I never have. And I never will. And, somebody like me, if I had to use a gun in self-defense and the kind of history I have with the profession I've been in my whole life, they'd put me under the jail. Even if it was clear-cut self-defense, I'd be in so much trouble, and I've just, now if I was a landlord and I was going around collecting rents and had cash on me and things like that, that would be different. I would care. But I don't feel a need to do it. I think it opens up people to get in more trouble sometimes. I'm not opposed to it. I know a lot of people that carry concealed weapons all the time, friends, family. I'm fine with that, and maybe one day I'll get one, but I just don't do that. But it's my choice, right? The Second Amendment's not a requirement. We're not required. It's our choice, and I choose not to. Plus, when I say about my position, conservative radio talk show host forever, if I used a weapon in self-defense against someone who was a minority, could you imagine what would happen to me? I would be done. Even if there was like surveillance cameras that were showing that I'd be done if it got in the media. So, maybe if I was in a different line of work, I might have a concealed weapon permit and carry a weapon. I don't know. But that's just not me. But anyway, regardless of all of that, most people that advocate against guns are people that don't know about them. They've never shot a gun. They've never held a gun. They don't understand. And I'm also not a hunter. I did hunt when I was younger. When I was a kid, I did hunt quite a bit. I've hunted deer, dove, gator, wild boar even, which is like being on African safari if you've ever hunted wild boar in Florida. So, but I don't hunt now. I don't even go target shooting anymore. But I used to. My wife was just telling me the other day, though, that she wants to go out to the range. She told me this over the weekend, that she wants to go out to the range and do some target shooting. So I'll probably do that. I go target shooting from time to time. And my daughter knows how to shoot and handle a gun. I took my daughter to the gun range when she was, 12-ish, 11, 12, or 13. Maybe around 12 or 13, I took her to the gun range and taught her how to shoot and handle the gun a little bit. Because you need to know. And that's the way. The only times I've felt that I really needed, because I have, things for home protection at home, but the only time I felt that I've needed a weapon, especially for home protection, is after the hurricanes. We had some hurricanes where we didn't have power for a couple of weeks, and when we don't have power, I'm talking about no street lights or anything. And a few days in, there were strange people driving through the neighborhood and everything, and I, made sure that I had everything then ready to go just in case, because you don't know. But no, I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment and a gun owner, and not a strong supporter of the NRA. I never have been, and especially when we found out everything Wayne LaPierre was doing. The NRA, they do a lot of great work because they do a lot of lobbying and back good Second Amendment supporting people in Congress. Then they do a lot of work that is very positive and help protect our Second Amendment. But they also it seems like there's a lot of corruption financially. You guys know the story with Wayne LaPierre and the clothes and all that stuff. But regardless of that, there's going to start today, it started yesterday, it's going to ramp up a big gun control debate in this country. And nothing will come of it. Nothing. The liberals, they don't even have, when they control everything in the government, there are too many Democrats that come from states that, while they're Democrats, they're not all that left-wing liberal like a New York liberal or something, and they like to hunt and things like this. Nothing will come out of this that's meaningful. If Biden gets anything passed, even through executive order, it'll have an expiration date on it. There has never been, from the liberals, meaningful gun control legislation. It's something that they throw out to their base. And right now, they're really going to throw it out hard because they want to pivot this story very quickly into a gun control debate. They don't want to talk about the shooter because he was identified and his background was identified yesterday, so they can't do the white man bad thing. So they want to get this away from the shooter and get it into the gun control yesterday. And it also, Biden and the White House are going to ramp up the gun control talk because it'll get the media and people's attention off the disaster and chaos at the southern border. So a lot's going to be happening with that. But I want to ask you guys, what I started at 6, and I'm going to break, and we'll get into some of the details about the suspect. Going back to 1999 in Columbine until today, after all of these terrible mass events, the liberals have come out with all these ideas. What have they ever accomplished after any of them? What have they ever changed? It seems nothing to me. Nothing. All right, listen, we'll take our break. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. First break of the day, 888-465-2631. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are State of Florida certified roofing and general contractors, focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Hurricane season is right around the corner. This gives us only a short period of time to make sure your roof and home is ready for the 2021 hurricane season. So don't delay and call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Our website is www.laportacontracting.com, where you will find our latest video and live testimonials from a few of our
Seinfeld
past clients. Our number again is 954-604-4602.
Hey there guys, it's Kathy, Brian's better half, and one of the most important holidays of the year is coming up, Mother's Day. We all love our moms. They always take such good care of their families. And now it's time to take care of the moms in your life. Whether it's for your wife, your own mother, your grandma, or your daughter, MyPillow.com has amazing gifts any mom will love. They have pillows, sheets, slippers, blankets, and so much
Well, thank you,
more.
Lowell.
Get your
Thank you
mom a
very
gift
much.
She will love, and one she will actually use year after year. When you visit MyPillow.com,
I have more tape,
sure
but
use
I don't need
promo
more
code
tape. I just
KANE
didn't
for
push it on there
absolutely
tight.
amazing deals. MyPillow.com, perfect gifts for all the moms in your life. And remember, promo code KANE, KANE, for huge savings and great deals.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 22 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Okay, so when this terrible event happened in Colorado and they got the suspect alive, which is unusual. Mostly they don't make it. Sometimes they do. The Parkland guy is still around. Still hasn't been put on trial. The Parkland shooter is still sitting in the Broward County Jail awaiting trial. Have they even scheduled a trial date in that case? I don't think so. But when they had that first photo of the guy, didn't have his shirt on, had some blood, this is the Colorado shooter, photo of the arrest from far away, the left, including Kamala Harris's niece, got very excited because he was Caucasian, they thought. And the white man bad thing was really about to happen. And then yesterday, and I thought it was very strange, I knew before they announced it. I didn't tell you guys this, but I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like 98% sure that he was going to be found out to be Muslim, not just some white Christian guy. And the reason I knew that is because when we saw the guy, everybody that knew him recognized him, and nobody in the media gave us any details on the guy. We didn't even get his name, right? And I knew as soon as they didn't give us his name right away that he was Muslim. Last time this happened was during the Boston bombing at the marathon. I remember when the Boston bombing happened, before the bombers were identified, of course, people were thinking terrorism in Boston, right, at the marathon. And then they had this still photograph from a street cam of the bombers, the brothers. And it was kind of like black and white, a little digitized. And I remember they had a press conference with the Boston police and the FBI, and they came out and they showed the photograph of the Boston bombers. Remember this? And they were so excited that they thought they were white guys. Do you remember that? Oh man, you could tell they almost had smile in their voice announcing that they were white guys. It's so strange. This white man bad thing. It's just so strange to me. It's bigotry, it's racial stereotyping, and it really shows you the racial hatred of the left. But remember this? And I don't know if that press conference is on YouTube. You can go back. It's when they first showed the picture of the suspects when they were still on the loose. And they were so excited. And then we found out that they were Muslim. Like this guy. And I knew yesterday when his name was not released that this guy was going to be a Muslim. I just had an idea, and it was confirmed yesterday. And after he was identified, I had on Fox, I had Harris Faulkner on for the, what's the show with the one lucky guy that's on the Zoom now? I don't know, Outnumbered. And I tuned it on because, we have breaking news going on. They had an entire discussion with Harris Faulkner on Outnumbered yesterday about the event, about gun control, the whole rap. And they didn't even say the guy's name, right? They didn't even say his name. This was after he was identified, a couple hours after he was identified by name, and we knew he was Muslim. And I thought, are you kidding me? And, what they tell themselves in the media, this is Fox News, this is Outnumbered yesterday, and what they tell themselves when they don't want to tell you he's Muslim. So what they tell themselves is this. Remember, villains don't think they're villains. Bad guys think they're the heroes. They first say, well, we don't want to give him the publicity, so we don't want to say his name. They actually tell themselves this. And then they also tell themselves, well, if we say really who he is, it'll spread racial hatred. It'll cause bigots to come out of the word. It's okay to get excited and tweet, it's a white guy, we're all excited. Kamala Harris's niece and all that. But as soon as they find out he's Muslim, all of a sudden they don't talk about the individual. Then they want to go to a generic discussion. Now, by the way, just because this guy's Muslim doesn't mean it's a terrorist attack. He could have gone rogue. Just because the guy's Muslim doesn't mean it was some organized, pre-planned thing with others. He could have done this completely on his own, like a lot of these other animals do. That like the Parkland shooter and the Columbine guys and all this stuff. So but still, as soon as they find out he's Muslim, all of a sudden they're not talking about the individual. Well, we got a lot of information about this guy now. There's a great article that I found at heavy.com. There is a very good reporter I've never heard of before, and I found this article, and I went back and looked at some of her other articles because I wanted to make sure she was a credible person. Her name's Jessica McBride, and she's a very, very good reporter. And the Boulder shooting suspect, his name is Ahmad. Now, again, I've seen his name spelled differently in different places, but they say Alissa. Here, A-L-I-S-S-A, all one word. Sometimes I see the A-L dash like Al-Isa. I don't know if it's if there's supposed to be a dash after the L, or if it's all one word, or if they Americanized it when they came here from Syria. But this is in Heavy.com, Jessica McBride's article. Ahmad Alissa, politics accused Boulder shooter bashed Trump. That's the headline. Ahmad Alissa, the accused Boulder mass shooter, wrote about politics on Facebook, bashing President Trump, even calling Trump a blank, a word that starts with the D word that I cannot say on the radio. Although his posts do not say whether he is a Democrat or another political affiliation, he did accuse Trump of being elected due to racism and praised the inclusiveness of the Democrat Party's ticket. In post on the since-deleted Facebook page, the Boulder suspect also criticized Trump's handling of refugees and immigration. According to his Facebook page, he was born in Syria and came to the U.S. at age 3. Although his motive for the Boulder shooting is still unclear, authorities do believe, at least so far, that it's a terrorist attack, according to Pete Williams on MSNBC. Authorities did emphasize that the investigation is in its early stages, however, and they have repeatedly stated that the specific motive is not yet clear. There's no indication at this point that Alissa's religion or politics motivated the mass shooting. The suspect was named by authorities yesterday in a press conference. And here's one of his tweets. So Mary, this is the Mary, mother of Jesus, he's talking about, this is I don't know if this is a tweet or no, this is on Facebook. This is one of his Facebook pages. Now, this is a screenshot from his Facebook in 2019, and so the name here is how he typed it in. He typed Ahmad A-L space I-S-S-A. Alissa, I guess is how you would say his name. That's how he wrote it. Ahmed, then he put A-L space, no dash, I-S-S-A. So it's not all one word, and how he spelled his own name on Facebook. He wrote this. So Mary wears a hijab, and Jesus doesn't eat pork and prays on his knees and hands. They're both Muslims. It's obvious. Why did this happen? Asked the district attorney. He said that was not clear and still is under investigation. We are in the early stages of the investigation. There is so much to learn, he said. But here is what we do know. Alissa wrote on Facebook that he believed Trump won the 2016 election due to racism. On Facebook, he wrote about many topics that were not politically related. For example, he wrote about his wrestling career and being a fan of mixed martial arts. Oh, Joe Rogan should be happy about that. Some of his posts were about the Muslim religion and others about Trump. For example, he wrote a post accusing Donald Trump of winning the presidency due to racism. In 2018, he shared his story of Ronan Farrow being in possession of alleged tapes of Donald Trump using the N-word by Salon, and wrote this. This is what the suspect wrote. Even if they released the tapes, his base would probably throw a party for him. He could do whatever he wants, and his base would still support him regardless of what he says or does. Well, he's right about that. And by the way, if they had him using language like that, there's a lot of, we need to know context and things like that. In 2018, he wrote of Trump this. He inherited a growing economy, and the unemployment rate was low. The economy was on an upward spiral. He won because of racism. He called Trump a blank, criticizing his refugee stance. And then on another Facebook post, Ahmad Alissa, because that's how he spells his name on his own Facebook, he posted this to Facebook in 2016. Regardless of political affiliation, I think it says a lot that one party has had the first minority president and the first woman who might be our next president. He's a Hillary supporter. He's talking about Hillary. Trump won. Only time can tell what will happen. Other than that, I will remain optimistic. Sounds like he watches a lot of MSNBC. The word usage is like MSNBC-ish. He once posted a Facebook story criticizing Trump's approach to immigration and wrote this, "Why refugees and immigrants are good for America." In 2016, he wrote, "I don't really like to talk politics or any serious subject for that matter, but please vote for my friend, the Cookie Monster. His running mate is Shrek, and the Secretary of State will be a donkey. Please, if you vote for him, I'll give you a cookie. Trump is such a blank," using the D word again. His Facebook page also contained posts that featured quotes from the Islamic prophet Muhammad. He wrote in 2018 on Facebook, Muslims might not be perfect, but Islam is. He said the Muslim victims of the mass shooter in the Christchurch mosques were victims of Islamophobia. And then he made this comment about Mary, the mother of Jesus. So Mary wears a hijab and Jesus doesn't eat pork and prays on his knees and hands. They're both Muslims. It's obvious. Like I said, we don't know what his motivation was. We're hearing from his family that he had mental illnesses, that he was bullied in school, that he had a history of acting out against bullies. And he may, and if you look at like Klebold and Harris and some of these other people, the Parkland shooter, there's a lot of this. They feel they're bullied. Sometimes they are bullied. There's mental illness, and they're triggered. So it could very much be just a coincidence that he's Muslim. I would not assume at this moment in time that it was an organized terrorist attack. What I mean by that is it may have been a terrorist act that he did on his own and went rogue. He may have pronounced himself one and went and done it. He might have just become unglued because he's got problems. We don't know. We don't know it was an organized thing. We don't know yet. But I do know this. As soon as his identity was known, and his religion was known, and his immigration status was known, etc., 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 immediately the media took a shift and it became gun control, not about the shooter. Instantly. And I know you all noticed that too, because it doesn't fit the media narrative. And the media have a narrative, and their narrative is white man bad right now. They didn't want to deal with the realities of this. I'm going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. I'll go to the phones when we get back. I have some audio sound bites, some more stories to talk about. Not just more things on this, but some other topics as well. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service.
Steve Kane Show.
Friendly Tire on both new tires and used
Hold on.
tires.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Antonio went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire, everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going around, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man, and Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio.
Those of you that are new here, make sure you're subscribed. Click that notification bell. I add all kinds of content on this channel all the time. And everyone in the chat room, like the video, right? Give me a like on this video and then share the video on your social media. That really helps a lot, and I appreciate if you do it.
954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, Friendly Tire in Margate, I've been a customer there for many years before they were an advertiser here on the Steve Kane Show. You will not find new or used tires at such low prices. They have all the name brands you know and love, Goodyear, Firestone, and the new tire prices are out of this world. My daughter's car, she has one of those Fiats. The lowest price I could find around town, $135 a tire. Lowest price I could find around town. Friendly Tire's price, $65 a tire. And by the way, that's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire, these are brand new tires. Yeah, brand new tires, out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire does not charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, dispose of your old tires, nothing. The price that Mike gives you over the phone, that's the price, out the door and on the road. These are new tire prices. Steve's van, the lowest price we could find around town for his van tires, $175 a tire. A tire. Friendly Tire, brand new tires, out the door and on the road, $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire, out the door and on the road. I know, brand new tires, $75. We have listeners that drive from so far. We had listeners on our last cruise who drove to Florida for the cruise and stopped at Friendly Tire before they drove back up north and bought new tires for their vehicle here because the prices are so low. Give Friendly Tire a call. Friendly Mike over there will give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. And again, hundreds and hundreds, in fact thousands of used tires in stock, starting at just $30 on used tires on most sizes. Again, 954-977-9445. Make sure you tell Friendly Mike you heard about him on the radio. All right, let's go to Mike in Boca. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, doing all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. About the shooter, apparently he was brandishing his brand new shiny weapon to his mom and dad. If this whole thing's true about his mental illness, why didn't they do anything when they walk around showing off his AR-15 or whatever?
Yeah, and I saw a story, I guess it was a sister or something, said that she saw him with the gun loading it. And, you know, of course, his whole family knew he had a history of mental illness, and they didn't intervene.
Yeah, although the evidence wasn't by a gun, and the apple does not fall far from the tree. His father's Facebook page is worse.
Yeah.
Zionism. He talks about they're anti-gay, anti-Jewish, anti-Christian, anti-American. Like, the list goes on. But like you said, like we know, and the average citizen knows across the United States, it does not fit the current narrative.
Well, you know, there's a big thing. You know, they want to have mental illness to be part of background checks, which is a very slippery and dangerous slope and violates medical privacy. Okay, and once you start opening up that door, and having a mental illness can be so that maybe somebody's prescribed Prozac because they're down in the dumps, you know, because they've been locked up for a year under COVID. That doesn't mean they're mentally ill. Would they, you know? But what liberals never talk about is individual and family responsibility. And if it's true, as it's being reported everywhere, that he had a history of mental illness and his whole family saw him with these weapons, just like the Parkland, you know, when I've talked many times that I encountered the Parkland shooter before the shooting at Wawa, and he scared the hell out of me. He's a little short guy, about the height of a jockey, the Parkland shooter, and he was staring at me when I walked by him at Wawa. This was before the shooting, and I was looking over my shoulder when I left. I was scared, and he looked crazed, and everyone. When the shooting happened, the kids were saying they were saying the kid's name before he was identified. The one girl bumped into him when he was making his escape and said, "I'm surprised to see you here. I thought this would have been you because you're such a whack job." You know, there comes, you know, yet he had gun after gun, and his family and guardians did nothing. Same with this guy in Boulder, right? His multiple family members saw him with the gun. They did nothing, according to all reports. Where's their responsibility?
I don't know. They might go back to Syria. Who knows? The whole thing is a mess. And
yeah.
You know, there's 10 people that are dead. 10 families have lost somebody.
You know, I learned something this morning about the hero police officer. Do you know I'm sure many have heard, he was 51 and he became a police officer at age 40. You know, kind of like the Rookie. You know, he became a police officer at 40 years old. Do you know he had a 6-figure job? He had a 6-figure-a-year job that he left to become a police officer. Is that something?
Family, too.
Yeah.
It's a big family, too. I mean, very sad.
It is sad.
I saw some of the video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's quite disturbing.
I've seen a little bit of it. It's hard to watch that stuff. I really don't like to watch the video of these incidents. Sometimes I do because I have to talk about them on the radio, but it's pretty disturbing. It's pretty disturbing.
I mean, they're all disturbing, but it's getting worse. Like, people just filming this stuff. And
well, the problem with these things isn't guns. The problem, there's a pattern in a lot of these things, and mental illness comes up in a lot of them. And and this is another instance when there was a long history of problems, mental illness problems, and his family did not intervene. If you've got someone in your family that has mental illness, okay, there is you've got some responsibility as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a sister. If they're walking around with a gun, to get involved with that and say, hey, wait a minute, something's wrong here, and they didn't.
Yep. Well, I just I pray for those families. It's very sad.
Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. All right, listen. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Jockey, you mentioned jockey. I watched your video yesterday.
Oh, at the Gulfstream racetrack?
Yeah. I thought maybe you'd get on a horse and get on.
Oh my gosh, I'm like tall compared to these. I felt like a giant next to these. The one jockey that I saw that won the one race, I thought for a second that he was a kid. I thought he was a kid when I saw him from behind that was dressed up in jockey clothes because he was at the track with his family. And then he turned around, I saw he was a man. I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't really. He was so little. I don't know how they get up on those. I don't know how they get up on those horses. But this shooting, the news media are going to pivot real quick to gun control because they don't want people seeing what's going on at the southern border.
She put a couple of tweets out over the last couple of days, and she had a backtrack, and she talked about white people.
She tweeted, Kamala Harris's niece tweeted, and with excitement, that this was a white guy that did this shooting in Boulder. She was kind of excited about it, and then when he got ID'd yesterday, she deleted it. Yeah.
Stupider.
Yeah. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Thanks so much for calling, all right? We'll take our last break of the first hour, and we'll be right back. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. Back to your calls after this.
Diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. You know, Champagne Automotive Repair, they will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. We talk about this a lot. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's amazing. You know, people assume when they go to an auto repair shop, they're going to get ripped off. Come on, right? But not at Champagne Automotive Repair. They will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. I told you the story of Steve sent his son over there, and before he went to one of the big places, one of the big national names you guys know, had his car looked over and diagnosed. They gave him a list of repairs and maintenance items that they said needed to be done, and without giving them the list, then he took the car up to Champaign Automotive Repair, had them look at the car and do the same diagnostics. They looked through the whole thing and found out that the big place told them that they needed $843.12 in repairs and maintenance that the vehicle did not need. So when you go to those other places, you're dealing with a salesman, not an honest mechanic like you have at Champaign Automotive Repair. I recently had an incident with my daughter's car. I thought she needed CV joints and an axle, and I was prepared to lay out a ton of money. And I had the car towed there. And I talked to Eddie Jr. over at Champaign Auto. I said, I think it needs an axle. I think we need CV joints, and it's it's going to be a big repair. I know. He called. I had it towed. Shortly after it arrived, he told me the car's ready. I said, what do I owe you? What's wrong? He said, I'll tell you when you get here. And I thought, oh, there must be some bad news if he doesn't want to tell me over the phone. I get there, it was just a few dollars. It was a minor little repair. If I'd have gone to this other place, I'd have gotten the actual CV joints and I'm literally just a few bucks. That's amazing. They're so honest. Champaign Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. They do everything, by the way. Commercial vehicles, luxury vehicles, sports cars, older vehicles, newer vehicles, AC repair, simple oil changes. They do everything. Transmission work. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101 for Champaign Automotive Repair. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Hey, Richie.
I got to correct a couple.
Of course you do. Well, it wouldn't be your call if you weren't correcting me.
Well, I have to be controversial. You
don't have to be fake controversial. You can be controversial without, don't feel the need. But go ahead.
Okay. You came on and said, you gave a liberal talking point. You said assault weapons, the AR-15.
It's not an assault weapon. I know. I didn't think we needed to get technical. I understand that.
Well, that's their talking point.
They don't even know what an assault weapon is. They don't know what an automatic weapon is, a semi-automatic. They don't know anything about guns. They know as much about guns as I know about, cars.
Guns are freedom. Guns are freedom, and it's a right that we have as free Americans, and regardless of what anyone thinks, if they take the guns away, they're taking another freedom away, and it's obvious to me what's going on in this country right now. And as for you carrying we've gone through this, like Reagan said, here we go again. You're worried about your position as a talk show host. Let me ask you a scenario. You're in public, and you have a concealed weapon. Brian Craig, who's gone to gun range and told everyone how he shoots and everything else. You're in the store, and some guy walks in with a rifle shooting people one by one, and you have a concealed weapon. What is Brian Craig going to do? Is Brian Craig going to pull that weapon out to defend and other people in that store and shoot this guy, or worry about his job and run out of the store?
Well, it depends. It depends on the situation. If I'm at Publix and someone comes in with a gun, chances are they're coming in to rob the joint, right? So, oh, you mean just to shoot like this? I guess I would duck behind something and hide because I would be unarmed.
And pray to God that he doesn't come and find you.
Yeah. Yes.
Job. You lose your job, Brian.
What do you mean I lose my job? I'm getting confused by your logic.
When you lose your life, it becomes that you're unarmed. And
oh, you're talking about me. Oh, you're talking about why I don't carry a gun. If I were to use a gun in self-defense, right? Legitimate self-defense. Describe the type of person that I would typically have to use my gun in self-defense with. Well, a liberal. No, I'm not talking about the grocery store. Somebody in my position. A liberal person, right? They'd probably be liberal, and they would probably also fit in a minority category: Hispanic, black, gay, something, right? If you've got a Republican, conservative, pro-Trump guy who, in self-defense, shoots a liberal minority, and they're going to put you under the jail. Somebody like me. The media would be all over that. I'd get more publicity than I could ever dream of, and I'd get, and all that, but I'd be under the jail.
I understand that, but the idea is for you that you don't have enough self-control not to pull a weapon on one of those kind of people. I know you do have self-control, and you have the wherewithal. So my point being that if you had that concealed weapon, which you can have, and you're qualified as you could shoot a gun, man.
I know. I'm very good. I know. I got a lot of training and everything. That's why I have them for home protect. But do you notice how the media? It's watching the news because when there's a big news incident like this shooting, I watch the TV news a little bit more than normal because I want to see how they react. So their first thing, they got all excited because they thought he was white because they arrested with no shirt on. They get all excited. Then yesterday, when he gets identified as a Muslim man, all of a sudden it's a thing on gun control. Why do you think Biden didn't speak for a day? He didn't speak for a day because they knew.
Biden is reading off of a teleprompter. He read yesterday off of the teleprompter. This guy doesn't have a thought between his ears anymore. Anybody that thinks this guy is running the country sick.
Mm-hmm.
He's reading this teleprompter. He's been practicing for this damn press conference that he's going to have. And as I said before, if you went public, Brian, and you did have a concealed weapon, I'm sure you wouldn't stand there and run out. I think you'd shoot the guy dead and save lives.
No, if you're a concealed weapon permit holder, what you're supposed to do is not use the weapon that you have for protection is of last resort. You're supposed to try to get out of there. If you're in any type of situation and you're a concealed weapon permit holder, getting involved in a gunfight that's Butch and Sundance time. Your first role is to get out of there. You want to get out. You want to leave. You want to get out of there as fast as you can. You don't want to have to use the weapon. So no, that is wrong. What you just said. I would not agree with any of that.
I saw the video of what happened before they scrubbed it. Did you see that video?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Old man with his cell phone talking, and there's a guy panicking as people are getting shot in the store.
Yeah, I understand.
If I'm a concealed weapon owner, I'm going and I see somebody going at the kids.
You'd be done too. You'd be done too, Richie, because they would. You would be, as soon as they identified you as a chronic radio caller to conservative radio with your racist rhetoric, you'd be done too, unless you shot a white guy in self-defense.
Throw something real out, I would have hung up.
Oh, thank you.
The congresswoman from Texas called Governor Abbott, racist because he says people are coming in from Central America with COVID-19.
Yeah. All right, take care. They've always been crazy. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
This is Dave.
Hey, Dave. What's on your mind?
Well, one major thing is I'm just wondering how much your audience, the public, puts this together with the, world. It's in Australia, Western Europe.
I've never even heard of what are you talking? How they connect? I've never even heard of this thing. Well, just tell me about it. I'm live on the air here. I don't have time to look up things.
Push that the international communist groups have been pushing into all the Western countries.
No.
The left here really started picking up on it in the 90s, although race has been an issue for decades, but they really incorporated all the methods that the international communist groups have been using all over the West.
Uh-huh.
An iteration, and I would suggest that you're...
Well, what is an iteration? We don't have guests today. We have callers. When you're talking about the Boulder shooting, how does the Boulder shooting apply to what you're talking about?
About all of this is the color revolution and its...
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Appreciate the call. Ooh. Oh boy. I gotta tell you guys. I was reading an article today. I couldn't believe it was about Mike Lindell. They will not leave Mike Lindell alone. They're going after Mike Lindell so hard and so bad. They're really trying to destroy him and his business. And I've told you, Mike Lindell, everything at MyPillow is manufactured at his plant in Minnesota, right here in the USA. He has over 2,300 workers that work in that plant. And when they're trying to put him out of business, they're trying to put those 2,300 employees out of work. That's 2,300 families. Think about that. That's a lot of people. And why? Because he's a strong, vocal supporter of President Trump and will continue to be that. And because of his social media alternative that he's developing, probably with President Trump. They've kicked him out of 20 or more of the major retailers. They're trying to jam him up in court and try to bankrupt this guy. And there is no business owner who is at his level, at a national level, more identified with President Trump and defending President Trump and supporting him in the future than Mike Lindell. And, Mother's Day is coming up. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Kane. When you do that, you're doing a lot, right? You're helping mom and every mom in your life, which is your wife, your mother, your grandmother, your mother-in-law, even your daughter, if she's got kids. You got a lot of mothers in your life, guys and women out there. And every mother will find something at MyPillow that she would just love. Go to MyPillow.com. Support Mike Lindell. Support MyPillow. And you're also supporting this program, too, by the way, which we very much appreciate. And for Mother's Day, there's some great items here. Now, there are many specials at MyPillow.com. Each and every one you can take advantage of with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Brand new item, the MyPillow My Slippers. They come in multiple styles and multiple colors and made for both men and women. They have slippers for men. They have slippers for women. Save 40% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Mike Lindell says these are the most comfortable slippers you will ever wear. And I can believe that. In fact, I asked my wife to order a pair of these for me for my birthday. Your mom, any mom on your list would love these slippers. 40% off with the promo code Kane. The MyPillow towel set and the MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets, each one of these, buy one set of towels, get a second set free. Buy one set of Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, get a second set free. You can give your mom sheets and a towel set, and give your wife a sheet and a towel set, or another mother on your gift-giving list. These are just great specials. The mattress topper, which turns your entire mattress into a MyPillow. With the promo code Kane, save 30% off the mattress topper. That's a great deal. The MyPillow, normally $69.98, with the promo code Kane, offering it for the lowest price ever, just $29.98. It's a great deal. There's many other great specials there, too. Take advantage of them. MyPillow.com, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Make sure you use the promo code Kane when you call. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
This is Dr. Mitchell Matez of the BioStation West Delray. I am so happy to be able to now offer the latest and most comprehensive approach to health, wellness, and anti-aging at my new West Delray location. In addition to the hormone therapies you are accustomed to, we can now offer testing for all of your health concerns, including vitamin and nutrient levels, cardiac risk panels, immune system markers, and much, much more. We also offer the full array of aesthetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc., as well as the latest state-of-the-art non-invasive treatments for erectile dysfunction, private IV suites, personal patient advocates, and comprehensive wellness, all in a spectacular new setting. Call me at my new office number, 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893 to schedule your appointment today.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry.
Make sure you're subscribed, guys. And by the way, if you're already subscribed, go and check and make sure you're subscribed, okay? Make sure you're subscribed. Click that notification bell. Like the video. That helps a lot. And share. Sharing helps a lot, too. All those things help. If you guys don't mind, it's a great way to help me out. And I do appreciate it when you do.
Evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Hurricane season is right around the corner. This gives us only a short period of time to make sure your roof and home is ready for the 2021 hurricane season. So don't delay and call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Our website is www.laportacontracting.com, where you will find our latest video and live testimonials from a few of our past clients. Our number again is 954-604-4602.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE 1. And now, here's Steve.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 has begun 4 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Am I the only one that hasn't gotten used to this time change yet? I really have not. I don't like it. I'm still not used to it. The sun should be out right now. Bunch of nonsense. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1, 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the phones. You know, sometimes I'll see a story, and I'll think to myself, this isn't real. I'm like being punked here. This is not a real story. This story's not real. And then but I'm like, oh, that's interesting, so let me check it out. And then I'll find it like an incredible news source that I trust. And this is an example. I'm not going to read the story other than the headline and just the absurdity of this. This is in the Blaze. Vice President Harris slated for one-on-one with President Bill Clinton to discuss empowering women and girls. So you're going to take a man who has been accused by how many women of abusing them? Paula Jones accused him of bloodying her lip. Juanita Broderick says Bill Clinton raped her twice. He raped her, arrested, and raped her again in a hotel room. And of course, you know many of the other stories like Lewinsky. So that's and she's going to be a feminist. She's a feminist icon. That's right. Going to meet with the biggest philanderer and abuser of women that's ever been in the White House that we know of, for sure. To discuss empowering women and girls. The way you empower women and girls is allow people like Bill Clinton to face punishment for their actions against women and girls. How about that? Biden, he had 2 statements yesterday. Of course, one was on gun control.
While we're still waiting for more information regarding the shooter, his motive, the weapons he used, the guns, the magazines, the weapons, the modifications that apparently have taken place to those weapons that are involved here, I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future.
Okay, it goes on. He doesn't have to wait. He doesn't need to know anything. He doesn't need to wait a minute. He doesn't need to be informed to take steps. Well, before you take steps, you should know what's going on. But he released another statement. I know that's just letting the Democrat mob hear what they want to hear. Gun control, guns bad. They love that. But then Biden said something about the police. You know, this police officer, father of how many? 7? A lot of kids. Became a police officer at 40. He was killed. He charged in there to save lives and was killed, 51 years old. And I found out this morning reading an article about him that he had a very high-paying 6-figure-a-year job that he left to become a police officer because a friend of his had lost their life. They were a victim of a drunken driver. And, I mean, that's a terrible story, just a terrible story with a terrible ending. But Biden released a statement about the police officer. I wonder if it's going to get him in trouble with his liberal friends. Listen.
Here's my deepest thanks to the heroic police and other first
heroic police.
And keep the members of their community safe. To state the obvious, I commend the exceptional bravery of Officer Eric Talley. I send my deepest condolences to his
there you
family.
Go. Sorry, guys.
His close family and 7 children. You know, when he pinned on that badge yesterday morning, he didn't know what the day would bring. I want everybody to think about this. Every time an officer walks out of his or her home and pins that badge on, the family member that they just said goodbye to wonders whether they'll subconsciously, will they get that call? The call that his wife got. He thought he'd be coming home to his family and his 7 children. But when the moment the act came, Officer Tully did not hesitate in his duty, making the ultimate sacrifice in his effort to save lives. That's a definition of an American hero.
Wow. So Biden, I guess he's distancing himself from the rest of the Democrat Party. He's praising the police, saying something that could be taken right out of Donald Trump's mouth about police officers pinning the badge on, didn't know, that this would happen. The definition of heroism, that's not going to play too well with his anti-cop liberal base. I'm shocked. And I know, he's all of a sudden, maybe he should talk to his vice president who was asking people to donate money to those bail groups after the looting. Oh my goodness. And I did notice this morning, I was going through the news today, and of course most everything's about this, but buried. There was a story that was buried. I mean, really buried. The George Floyd trial. I could hardly find it. It was a little tiny, little bitty story buried, like on page 89 of the website. I mean, they, you know how they, do you know how these, you ever hear these ads to scrub the internet of negative information about you that people run? Do you know how they do that? They can't wipe it off the internet, but they have ways to bury it. So it comes up like on page 200 of the Google search results, which nobody ever gets to about you. You know what I'm talking? That's how they do it. I don't know how they do it, but that's what they do. That's what they're doing with the George Floyd case. The George Floyd jury selection is wrapping up, and the first couple days we're getting all this stuff, and now just a little tiny story at the very bottom last page in the news. They have built an entire movement on George Floyd. You know what's going on here? What's going on here is it's called discovery. The investigations are complete. The defense have gotten information, and the press, the media, are expecting an acquittal. This is my prediction. The media are expecting an acquittal in the George Floyd case. The George Floyd case is going to be a dud. It's going to be televised, too, because some of the jury selection was televised, and they're burying the story on page 200 so you don't follow, so you forget about it. You know, this George Floyd, they've made entire TV shows about the George Floyd case and everything else going on involving George Floyd over the past year that's happened, and now they're disappearing the story. There is something that we do not know about yet, that the media know, that's going to come out in trial, that's going to make this case head towards an acquittal, even with the jury that they put together. They put together a jury of strange people that should not be on juries. Certainly not on this jury. You know, but they're expecting an acquittal. You know, I watch some of the police shows on television, and they got the new season of shows have come out now. And you can tell they're a new season because they're wearing masks. The actors are wearing masks and stuff. You know, because, you know. And I read an article a few months ago before the new season of cop shows came back that they were changing this year. That they were changing the shows to make them fit in the era of George Floyd. And there's one show that I really like. I've watched it for years, Chicago Blue. Any of you guys watch Chicago Blue? It's a very good show. They got this whole Chicago thing, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med. Chicago Blue is the original. The other shows I don't like, Chicago Med and Chicago Fire, I don't like. But I like Chicago Blue. Or is it Chicago Blue or Chicago PD? I've watched it for 6 years. And this year, I watched an episode this week. They have totally changed the way that they do television crime shows now. They're making the criminals sympathetic. And this one guy who was out there doing drug deals and getting people killed. Chicago PD is the name of the show. I'm sorry. Yes, Chicago PD. Someone in the chat told me. He's out there with a drug dealing murderer. He's dealing dope on the streets and everything. But you find out that he's uninsured and his little brother has some type of illness, and he's just doing it because he can't make enough working at the Swifty Mart, so he's dealing dope and involved in all these murders and everything, so he can pay the medical bills of his brother, of his little brother. He's really a good guy. Chicago PD. This is how all the shows are changing. And I watched another one last night. I know you guys think I watch a lot of TV. I really don't. I just talk about the couple things I watch. They brought back America's Most Wanted. And I was watching. Have you guys seen the new America's Most Wanted? I was watching it last night. I couldn't believe. They show they show a lot of surveillance video of criminals that have committed crimes recently, and inside gas stations and convenience stores and sub shops, right? People that have done holdups and other things. And they show you the surveillance video, and they're asking if anybody has information on this person to call the America's Most Wanted hotline so they can track them down. Well, everyone is wearing a mask because of COVID restrictions. So they show these robbers coming in, holding places up, and they actually said, Elizabeth Vargas is the host. It's hilarious. She says, look at the hands of this person. If you recognize the hands of this person, call 1-800 whatever our number is. Can you imagine? They even asked, and another one they said, if you recognize these shoes, give us a call. Because everyone's face is covered in a mask because of COVID. I mean, America's Most Wanted, they just came back. They've only had a couple episodes. It just started like a week ago. And it's like a joke. Because criminals love masks. They had one woman who's wanted. She killed her boyfriend, chopped him up, put him in garbage bags, and dropped him on the side of the freeway years ago. And they did this whole thing. She's on the run, and she did this back like in the 90s or something. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, years ago. And they got a new photo. She's been spotted in Brooklyn. And they show a new photo of her in a fish market in Brooklyn. And they say, this is what she looks like now. They show the photo. She's wearing a mask. Her whole face is covered with her mask because of COVID. And they're saying, if you recognize her, this is what she looked like just 2 months ago in Brooklyn. Are you kidding me? She's wearing a mask. These people on the run love the masks, I'm here to tell you. I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but it's very strange. All right, listen, we'll take our break 16 minutes after the hour. Those of you on hold, don't go anywhere. I'm Brian. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977. We'll take our break and be right back. Do not go anywhere.
Do you ever ask yourself, will I ever be able to retire? And if I do retire, how do I stay retired? Well, the good news is our friends at I Will Advisors right here in Coral Springs can help you answer those questions. I Will Advisors have a unique approach to income and retirement planning that's focused on your needs and desires for a successful retirement. Debbie Klatzoff and Dan Frazier at I Will Advisors want to talk with you and provide you with an Income for Life report. This report will help you map out how to control when you can retire and make sure once you retire, you stay retired. Call Debbie Klatzoff and Dan Frazier at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080. I Will Advisors, your financial planning partners.
You know what's weird? Hi, this is
Yeah.
George Corey. Not hearing of any bank robberies in the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Steve Kane Show. Hey, Doug.
Give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Brian, 18 minutes after the hour. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We'll go to the phones in just a moment. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I was just reading this article in the Daily Mail. Florida, that's where we are. Florida becomes the third state in the United States to surpass 2 million coronavirus infections and the first to cross the 1,000 mark for cases of UK's super COVID variant as spring breakers party on. Florida has recorded 2,011,211 cases of COVID-19 and nearly 33,000 deaths since the pandemic began. Listen, don't let your guard down. You know, we're doing so well in Florida for a lot of reasons. And one of those reasons is testing, regardless of hitting this high number. And testing, I had some people in my family who had COVID. They tested positive for COVID, and we knew to stay away from them until we were past the time that they could spread it around. Any lab test now of Boca, any lab test now of Coral Springs have the lowest price on COVID testing there is. And you know what? You get your results right there on the spot. That's right. You know, you get your results right there. You walk in, 15 minutes later, you walk out. And not only do you have your results, positive or negative, have you been exposed, do you have the antibodies, all these things, they give you a printout with the results so you can take it with you to work. If you're traveling, I know a lot of you are traveling. Sometimes it's international. Some people do still travel internationally. Some people need to have weekly COVID testing for work. Okay? Any lab test now of Boca, any lab test now of Coral Springs have the lowest price on COVID testing anywhere. And again, you get the results in 15 minutes. They're open Monday through Saturday. And because you get the results so quick, you can stop in on your way to work. You can go in on your lunch hour. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road, north of Hillsborough, on the east side of State Road 7. Their number 561-237-5009, 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. And their number, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. I just got a text message from Laura Loomer, who wrote an article. She has a website where she writes and puts up information. It's called loomered.com, Loomered, loomered.com. And Laura Loomer just text messaged me an article she wrote about the Colorado shooting, and this is interesting. Just to read some of it about this particular grocery store. We're getting a little more information here in Boulder, Colorado. She writes this: he perpetrated his targeted attack on King Soopers. That's the name of the grocery store, a kosher-friendly supermarket in Boulder. King Soopers is known by Jews in the area as a place where they can purchase their food easily due to their extensive inventory of kosher items. So you put that together, hey, in Florida, you can get kosher items all over the place because this is Florida, right? Especially South Florida. But in Colorado, it's not the same. So that's a question. Did he target this place because it was a place where a lot of Jews in the Boulder area shop for their kosher items? Anyway, Loomer.com. Laura Loomer has a very extensive article on this. That was just a sentence from it. All right, good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Oh, hey, Doug. How are you?
I guess I got to weigh in like everybody else. You know, this shooting wouldn't be prevented no matter how many laws you pass. I mean, who's going to pay?
Well, we already have, as far as I'm aware, in every city, town, county, state in the United States, we already have a 100% prohibition in law banning murder. Right?
Exactly. But, you know, what does the government want to do? Let's make some more laws. I mean, how stupid is that? So now the American people can't protect themselves on a moron like this to walk in. But if everybody in the supermarket, this guy would have been out of there, and instead, nobody can carry a gun, and if you carry a gun, then the Democrats tell you you're more likely to get killed. You know, it's really sad that these people just don't see the.
Yeah. Do you know this shooter? You know, he's from Syria. You guys know this and all that. Do you know the cops raided his home where I guess he still lived with his parents, right? So the police went to the family's home. It's a $800,000 house. $800,000 house. And I know, and that's Colorado prices. That's like here in Florida. That's probably like $1.5 million home in Florida. $800,000 house.
He had it.
Yeah.
A lot of sick people in this world. Maybe that's what they should go.
Yeah.
Help these crazy people, but anyway.
Yeah.
I also, again, when you mentioned, I hate this time zone. I wish they.
Oh my gosh, this time change, it affects me every year, but this year it's been worse. I mean, I just cannot get used to this time change. Every morning when I wake up, my body just cannot adjust.
I've been against it forever, but for some reason they think it's a good idea to let.
Oh, it's awful. But you know, I'll tell. All right, appreciate the call, Doug. You know, but listen, this shooting was, you know, what's going on with this incident in Boulder, and let me tell you, okay, it's a terrible incident that happened. You know, bloody massacre. Justice will be done. They got the guy. He didn't take his own life. No suicide by cop, and he'll be convicted and spend the rest of his life in jail. And justice will be done there. Okay. So there, you know, and there's a lot about it. The FBI apparently had him on a list, and another failure of the FBI, just like the Parkland shoot. It's amazing how many of these guys get reported to the FBI and they do nothing. But here's the thing. 24 hours ago, the Biden administration was on the verge of collapse. The Biden administration was in such a terrible situation. They had lost the support of Chuck Todd, Martha Raddatz, CNN's main anchors over the conditions of the kids. Even Chris Wallace. Can you imagine Chris Wallace on Fox News even going after the Biden? The Biden administration was on the verge of a complete collapse. They had alienated the entire press. Project Veritas, when they came out with those photographs of the kids wrapped up like Chipotle burritos on the cold concrete floor in those overcrowded jail cells in Texas. Over 400 in a cell that's only supposed to hold a little over 200. And by the way, that 200, I think it was 260, and they have over 400 in there. That's not capacity with social distancing. That's before COVID, right? So with restrictions, they're probably only supposed to have 30 or 40 in there, and they have 400. And those photographs came out 2 mornings ago from Project Veritas. Project Veritas, the day before yesterday, first had the photos from Texas, from the detention center where the kids were. And that, I mean, those photos are tough to look at. And I know you guys think they're tough to look at too. It's wrong what Biden's doing there. And they were so disturbing, the liberal media turned against Biden. They love Biden. They're all Democrats. And the liberal media turned against them. That's why on yesterday's show, we were talking about the transition from Biden to Kamala Harris. And that was being advanced because of those photographs from the detention center finally leaked out. And those photos, to me, look like they were on surveillance cameras inside the facility. So somebody or multiple people inside the detention facility leaked those photos to Project Veritas, and others leaked them out. After Project Veritas, others circulated them around. And that whole discussion yesterday about the Kamala Harris replacing Biden as president, that came out of the pressure that Biden was under. We have no southern border. It's anarchy. It's inhumane. It's getting worse. More are coming. They don't have enough food. They're sleeping in shifts. They're sleeping on the cold concrete floor. They don't even have proper blankets, right? Those silver things are paper thin if you've ever seen those. They're really terrible blankets. It keeps you warm by your body heat a little bit, but they're terrible. I've seen those blankets before. They sell them at the Science Museum. You can buy them for like $2. They're like disposable blankets they were using, those silver Chipotle burrito wrappers, And now we had this incident in Boulder, Colorado, and that, like the George Floyd story, has evaporated from the media, right? Because Joe Biden came out and talked about gun control yesterday, and this press conference of his this week that he's supposed to have, where everything is being set up in advance, the questions are being submitted in advance and all this business. Now, the press conference yesterday, the media, as much as they love Democrats, the media, as much as they love Biden, felt obligated in that press conference that's coming up tomorrow to go after Biden on the poor conditions of the kids in that detention center in Texas. And that was going to be a rough press conference because the Democrats are embarrassed to ask him about it. Now they've got this incident in Boulder. It's going to be there'll be a little bit of that, but the main theme is going to be Boulder, and it's going to be gun control. Right? That's going to be the whole thing. So Biden's presidency was saved by that shooting in Boulder, Colorado. As crazy as that sounds, his presidency was saved by that shooting. And you know what? They all know it. They all know it. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1, 888-465-2631. That's our number, toll-free call. Biden's presidency saved by the Boulder shooter. It really was. If that had not happened, okay, and I want to take your calls on this. If that would not have happened, this was simmering. In fact, I have not seen as much pressure on any president since the Lewinsky scandal with Clinton, where the press was really going after someone. It's been a long time since the White House press corps has been like that towards a Democrat. I never saw them act that way with Obama. Obama was never in hot water like that. And if it wasn't for the Boulder shooting, Kamala Harris could have been president by next week because he wouldn't be able to handle the pressure of it. And that press conference would have been a disaster tomorrow. Now that he's got his gun control issue, he'll come out, he'll be, and one thing Biden does to cover up his mental lapses is he shows anger. So he's going to come out, he's going to be fed up, he's going to be angry, he's going to tell you that he got some gun control back when he was vice president, but it only had a time limit, now we're going to do it permanently. The anger covers up from the fogginess for some reason. I don't know. It helps a little bit. He just looks pissed off and out of control to me when he does it, but that's what he does. And the media are going to be all about gun control in Boulder. You watch, you see. I'm telling you. All right, we'll take our break. Those of you on hold, don't go anywhere. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. That's right, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We will take our break and be right back after this.
Brian Craig here. I've been telling you for years how great My Pillow products.
Steve Kane Show. Yeah, hold on.
topper, and they come in all sizes. The mattress companies have turned into con artists. When I was a kid, mattresses were two-sided. You'd have the mattress, then after a while you'd flip it over. Now you can't flip mattresses anymore. They don't make them that way anymore because people weren't buying mattresses enough. So the mattress company stopped making two-sided mattresses, and mattresses are expensive. I've had to buy a new mattress, and mattresses can cost well over, just for a regular normal mattress, over $1,000. So that MyPillow mattress topper is a big savings. It saved you from buying a new mattress and turned your whole bed into a MyPillow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I really love it. I sleep really good.
Well, that's great. Well, I appreciate that. You guys out there, remember, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. And when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, save 30% off your MyPillow mattress topper. And receive 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper. Turn your old mattress into a big MyPillow mattress. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE1. That's K-A-N-E and the number 1, 888-465-2631. Are you with us, Steve? Yeah.
After, usually either 7:30 or 8 o'clock, I come on and join Brian in Progress. The first half of the show is not screened, which means we don't control, we don't pick which callers are going up. Brian just...
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the brightest. Idea.
And so now we have screening, which means that we have... the subjects are floating all over here. There should be one thing we're talking, and we'll do our best to get the conversation going about what's going on in Mexico.
Yeah, well, let me show you. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, Steve. You know, this shooting did Biden a huge favor and the liberal press a favor, because and let me give you an example of how they're burying this story, okay, of the southern border with this. I'm at CNN's website, CNN.com. I'm going to go from top to bottom. Let's see how many stories until we get to this crisis of the kids being mistreated at the southern border. An hour of horror. Survivors share how mass shooting unfolded. Employees and shoppers fled. Yeah, I mean, there's like. Well, that's what I'm doing too. I'll just, instead of reading the headlines, I'll just count. If you go to CNN.com, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stories before you get to anything about the mistreatment of the kids at the border. So that's the 15th story at the CNN website if you were to count from the top to the bottom. They're burying it.
Do their best to bury it, but it takes the public going along with it to set the tone for the day, or the subject for the day. Let me ask you this: have you had much of a chance to watch the news?
No, I've been on the radio for now hour and 40 minutes, so no. No, I don't watch TV before I come on. I don't know.
Okay, then we go we'll skin the cat a little differently. I'd like anybody out there that has followed what's going on in the last 24 hours with the Mexican debacle. Let's put it back on the table. What has happened? Because I don't know, and Brian, I guess we do, have other things going on, so we don't not always as up to date as we should be on the.
I'm always up to date.
And okay, we'll start with you. Bill Wise. Tell me what's been happening.
Well, there's nothing. I mean, there's something new. There really isn't much new other than the photos that leaked out 2 days ago. I mean, that's the new thing.
Are they still coming in? What's the flow like now?
Oh, the flow's just nonstop. I mean, it's a nonstop. It's like a a broken fire hydrant that hasn't been fixed. Yeah, I mean that's just the way it is. I mean, there's no slowdown of anything. No, not at all.
Send the discussion that way, and because you're absolutely right on what they're trying to do, and they've been successful up till now. But we got to see where the public settles today, and the talk radio public.
See, what I was hoping would happen, and now it's not going to happen now. Okay, Biden's press conference is tomorrow, and what was when those photos came out from Project Veritas of the kids in the burrito wrappers, 2 days ago, they're horrific. I mean, they're horrific, and and the media were pretty ticked and also embarrassed in the dealing with it. So the press conference was going to be a disaster for Biden because he was going to be under complete defensive posture because of the border pictures. Now that he's got his shooting, now he's going to come out. It's going to be all about gun control. He's going to be back to gun control. The questions that are being asked are being submitted in advance, so it's already a scripted play. Yeah, so there'll be a question or two mild without much follow-up on the border crisis, but mostly it's going to be about the incident in Boulder. I mean, and gun control, and Biden got a break because I expected Friday morning to be discussing the disaster of Biden. Yesterday we were talking about the transition to Kamala Harris that was going on. A lot of that was because of the crisis at the border. Now they've got something to get that off the news cycle, and it may never return to the level it was yesterday.
It may return. I don't think this problem is solved. I don't think it's going away. And I think that Biden it's a plus for Biden. There's no question about that. But I don't think it destroys.
Yeah.
Him getting there. To do that.
Well, now that they got a new issue,
but the press is pretty upset about what's going on.
Yeah, but I was watching last night. I was watching CNN and MSNBC and seeing how they're covering it. 100% gun control. They've already pivoted to gun control. They're very excited about that, and that's what it's going to be about tomorrow. It's unfortunate because what's going on at the border is complete anarchy and a total the worst crisis we've ever had at the southern border, and Biden was under big trouble.
Issues gone.
To the level it was 2 days ago. Yeah, we were really. It was before the shooting and happened, and yesterday is when the shooting really started to take over the media. Before that, we were really building up on this border issue, and the Biden administration was in serious trouble. It's not going to come back to the level it was 2 days ago. Would be my prediction. I know. What do you think?
I think that
I'm not happy about it, but I just saw what happened.
I think that we, and when I say we, I'm talking about both listeners. And radio, I think had some amount of effect on the direction things will go today.
Yeah.
And I think we can influence it to some degree. Obviously, it would have been better if that didn't happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
It doesn't mean we can't switch. Try.
Yeah.
The narrative. Try to say that.
Oh yeah.
Switch the narrative.
I mean, I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed with what I was seeing. It wasn't just Fox. But liberal media like ABC News and CBS were even... Yeah, but their coverage of it, it's like the tree falls in the woods if there's nobody there.
24 hours and maybe 48 hours and the impact of the coverage.
Really?
It'll be back. It'll be back because the problem is not going to get solved.
I hope you're right. Well, no. I know the problem's not going anywhere. I'm talking about the media coverage. Because the media sent the liberal media sent their reporters to the border to show how bad it was. And I was pretty impressed with Fox News over the weekend. They had not just Judge Jeanine was down there. Did you see Judge Jeanine on Saturday night? I mean, she was out there, and they had other reporters even on Monday on the southern border. Tucker was down. Where was he the other night? Honduras, and even Martha Raddatz was down there, and CNN, and it was not going well. And now the media have, what do they call it? They've pivoted.
Not pivoting, and we're not pivoting on the Steve Kane Show. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take our break a little bit early here. I'm going to ask, this is going to be a targeted show. In other words, the topic is going to be the catastrophe in Mexico, the refugee catastrophe. And Brian will be screening. Call in with your comments, especially if you have comments on developments on this refugee story that have happened within the last 24 hours. Let's try to get the focus back where it belongs. Because, after you've said, I'm so tired of the gun thing. It's so repetitious and all.
Oh, I can't talk about gun control again. I can't talk about it again. Yeah. And I'll tell you what I don't want to ever hear again from conservatives. If you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns. That puts me to hypnosis.
Well, to put this to bed once and for all for today's show, because we're not going to talk about the gun control thing, because it's the same show over and over.
Yeah, for 100 years.
Yeah. Stop and think about this. If there had been somebody there that was a gun person and that had a carry permit, or with or without a carry permit, what would that have done to the equation of laid out if there had been one person with a gun there?
Yeah.
Other than the shooter, stands a good chance would have gotten shot. And then no one would be saying, well, gee, thank God we saved all these lives.
Now let me ask you this on the air before we break, okay? Because you want me to do something that we don't typically do. You want me to screen the calls today. So you want me to screen the calls to make sure. Okay, well, when I screen, what do you want me to screen for and screen out? You want me to screen only calls on the border issue today? Okay.
People that call in, try to focus in, and we're looking for custom calls here. Try to focus in on what's going on in the last 24 hours. Let's try to get the discussion back on what remains a seemingly impossible situation down there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're going to get out of it. It's like, you put it very well, it's like a fire hydrant that the cap has come up.
Yeah.
Flooding, and there's no way to stop it. So that's where our focus will be for the next hour and a half. Right now, I'll remind you, you're listening to The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Will return right after this.
Oop, caught me off guard.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service.
Steve Kane Show. Yep. Okay, hold on. Steve Kane Show. Okay. No, I don't need any paper. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show, yes.
Well, what's your name? Antonio. All right, Antonio.
Yeah, we want to talk about.
Glad we could save you and your family lots lots of money on tires at Friendly
Okay,
Tire.
hold on.
No doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire.
Steve Kane Show.
Find incredible deals on both new
What do you want?
and
No.
used tires. Give
No.
Friendly Mike a
Okay.
call right now.
Steve Kane Show.
977
Okay.
9445.
What do you want to talk about? No.
977 9445.
No.
And Mike will give you a quote right over
Mm-mm.
the phone. 954
No.
977 9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hey there guys, it's Kathy, Brian's better half, and one of the most important holidays of the year is coming up, Mother's Day. We all love our moms. They always take such good care of their families. And now it's time to take care of the moms in your life. Whether it's for your wife, your own mother, your grandma, or your daughter. MyPillow.com has amazing gifts any mom will love. They have pillows, sheets, slippers, blankets, and so much more. Get your mom a gift she will love and one she will actually use year after year. When you visit MyPillow.com, be sure to use promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for absolutely amazing deals. MyPillow.com, perfect gifts for all the moms in your life. And remember, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for huge savings and great deals.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here now. Steve, I have screened the calls, and I have told multiple people that they could not go on who wanted to talk about things other than the southern border. So the calls are screened. Okay? All right, now our first caller, though, she told me she's an immigration attorney. So let's see what her thought is on this, because I'm sure she is for going by the law. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name, counselor?
Oh, hi. My name's Maria.
Hi, Maria.
You're on the air.
Morning. I think it's wonderful that you're refocusing the issue to where it should be, but I just have one criticism, and that's, Steve mentioned a number of times right now that we need to refocus on the quote-unquote refugee issue. It's not a refugee issue. What war are these people fleeing from? What political persecution are they fleeing from? They're immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
Economic migrants. I think we need to, we do need to talk about the issue, but we need to talk about the issue correctly. And if we use the verbiage that the left is using, then we've lost.
All right, I think you got a good point. Maria, let me ask you a question. What was missing from, as you think back over the coverage as, before the transition when we were, they were showing the pictures that were fresh, that were coming out of the camps. What was missing from all those pictures? I'm surprised you didn't notice this.
I don't know. I noticed your words, obviously, but I didn't.
Women is what is missing. Everybody was male. Where did the girls go?
And I don't think they want to focus on those.
But that doesn't mean we can't focus on it. Where do you think the women went? What do you think they did with the women?
I have no idea. It's one of those things over here. I work with a lot of victims of human trafficking, and I see this what's happening.
Let me ask you, Maria, where are you located?
Texas.
You're in Texas. Oh, so you're at the heart of the matter. It's interesting we hear from an immigration attorney because, see, what Biden has done is bring these people on this side of the border so your fellow attorneys can run down there like ambulance chasers and get and find clients. When they're in Mexico, you can't represent them, right?
Discussing what they're doing, they're using these people as just a political pawn, and they're impacting low-wage workers here.
Well, I'll tell you, Rush Limbaugh had a phrase that they come here to do jobs that Americans used to not want to do. Rush used to say that a lot, and there's a lot of truth to that. But what Steve and I were talking about, Maria, before the break, is 24 hours ago, the Biden presidency was on the verge of complete collapse over the southern border, and this shooting has taken it off the headlines, and the media has pivoted. Do you think that this southern border, now you're in Texas at ground zero, but we're talking about national, do you think the national media are going to pivot back to the crisis that you guys have on the southern border of Texas right now, and that Biden will be under siege again?
I think so. I don't think how this goes away.
I hope you're right.
And I think that when we do that, we just need to just use the correct language, because that's what they focus on. They focus on language. They don't focus on on the truth. And so we need to play their game and use the correct language. But if we give in and start using the politically correct words that they want to use, then we've lost.
Okay, so what word would you use to describe them? Migrant, elite, what do we use? You don't like refugee. Migrants. Yeah. Well, refugee, Steve, the reason she's giving you a hard time about refugee is that's the status that grants them sanctuary here if they're declared a refugee. That's what I'm fleeing from crime, and they've never had a moment without crime down there.
Let me tell you what, just because the government gives them that status, it doesn't mean that or it's because they're claiming that that's the status that they deserve. It doesn't make it so. And in order to establish that you're a refugee.
Now, let me ask before we let her. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Let me throw one in here. You at least have experience with immigration law and this stuff. You understand the legal aspect of this certainly better than the average layman listening out there now. How would you say it would most likely play out from this point on, from the immigration point of view? I mean, how's it going to end? Write for me the ending on this drama.
Okay. So the ending is if we don't close the border, those people are in, and I think there's no turning that tide back.
Are they going to close the border? Are they going to close the border?
Well,
Biden shows no indication to me that he has any thoughts about closing down the border.
Well, I think before the shootings that took place earlier this week and then late last week, that it was turning. He was already starting to reach.
Right. Now, here we are today. Where it's starting today, how is this thing going to, what's the end on this play?
I think we need to put pressure. I think that...
Yeah.
And bringing the conversation back to where it belongs, I think that's excellent. And we just need to do that aggressively, but we need to do that intelligently.
Yeah.
We need to...
As before you leave us, do you have any speculation as to where the women have gone that are absent from these photos?
Well, I know that they're putting a lot of people in hotels. Pandemic, there was a lot of talk of people being placed in hotels. Now we know. Now it's been confirmed that they're spending upwards of, I think, $100 million in hotel rooms for these.
Yeah, and a lot of them, Steve, are in hospitals because they're 8-9 months pregnant. Their delivery date is here. I saw a busload of pregnant women getting off buses. I mean, I've never seen so many pregnant women in one place as getting off of some of these buses.
Let me ask you this. Is COVID's going to end up being a factor here?
No, because COVID's only a factor when it's something that we want.
Yeah.
I think that for them, it's
they use it when they use COVID when it's convenient to their agenda. Yeah. Hey, Maria, you add a lot to the program. So yeah, yeah. Oh, they may not report it. They may not report it. They may try to cover it up. You try to tell me that they don't have a COVID outbreak in these detention facilities. They have 400 in a cell made for 260 prior. Come on. There's got to be problems with COVID there. We haven't heard anything. Hey, Maria, you add a lot to this topic. So when we talk about these issues in the future, feel free to call us. All right. All right. Thanks. Steve. This press conference tomorrow. I've been waiting for it for a week, and Biden is in survival mode right now. With the White House, with survival mode means they're dealing about just getting through this moment in time. And I think there was a lot of panic about that press conference tomorrow night because of these pictures that came out of the detention facility in Texas. And now I think they feel that they've gotten a break and they've just gotten by the press conference. I don't think they're thinking long term. I think they're thinking just how to get by each and every day of the news cycle without Biden messing up. No.
I mean, there's a possibility. If there was, God forbid, an outbreak of the plague thing, they'd be hard-pressed to cover that up.
Yeah. Now, let's... Now, listen, before we go back to the phones, I just want to tell you, Steve has put in place something we don't do very often here on the Steve Kane Show. We are being laser focused as to what we're talking about. So the only calls permitted through the lines today are those talking about the border issue, not unrelated issues or any other issue that's in the news today, all right? So our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. All right, we got Wheezy on the line. Wheezy, you're up.
I'm here. Oh, I didn't know you were talking to me.
Okay, you're on the air.
I'm going to stay
You're on the air.
Steve, because I don't want to get your show upset again. Obviously, you changed the platform because I go too far. So I'm going to stay on topic, okay? And my topic is the border. Now, let me say the fact that I do not believe in the border being open. I do not believe in all them people flooded in here like they doing. I don't like it. But hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my issue is the fact that now, I don't like it, they shouldn't do it, all of that. But my thing is, we're talking about it, the fact that Biden let these people back in, which is true. But y'all are acting like y'all never seen these pictures before. Like these are the first time y'all seen something like this. We seen this a couple of years ago when Trump had them like the same way.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Wheezy, that's not true. All right, that's not true, Wheezy. No. You're not lying. Wheezy, you're not lying. You're just mistaken. You're not lying is an action. You're being deceptive. You're just mistaken, and I'll help you here. You were when Trump first became president, he inherited a terrible system at the southern border from Barack Obama, and in the early beginnings of his presidency, he was fighting with Congress for the immigration reform to get the wall built. He was negotiating with Mexico to keep the refugees, or whatever we're going to call them, the immigrants south of the border, et cetera, until he got, it was crowded until he got his system in place. And by the time Trump left, the facilities were empty, and we didn't have this situation because he remedied it. And so yeah.
Now you just said
Wheezy, do you remember, Wheezy, stop, Wheezy. Do you remember what Brian has just said? Do you recall that stage when they negotiated with the president of Mexico? He agreed to let the refugees wait over in Mexico while they were being processed. Do you recall that?
Yes, I recall it, and that stopped all of them from...
Okay, right there.
Yeah, you're right.
Correct, that was... And what stopped that was when Biden...
He told him to rush the border.
Now, can we go back to what I actually said? I said, we've seen those pictures before. Before Trump took care of it.
Yeah.
It went down.
From Obama. Yeah.
Fixed it.
Can I finish? I'll let y'all finish. Remember his wife went down there because everybody was showing the pictures about how crowded the cells were and the kids were sleeping on floors and all the rest.
I named her Wheezy from the Jeffersons.
And they fixed it.
Before.
Yeah, Steve, I think we're going to...
What has changed?
What has changed is we did stop seeing the pictures. He did have the border closed, but y'all are saying, oh my God, did you see the pictures? We've seen the pictures before. When Trump...
He didn't have the border closed. He opened it up. Trump opened it up.
Wheezy, yeah, Steve. I think you and I are going to agree with Wheezy. Wheezy. I think we're going to agree with you. What Biden has done is brought back the exact same situation that Obama brought to us, that Trump ended. So I think we'll agree. Yeah, that Trump's... See, this is the deal, okay? Taking it away from immigration, okay? Say that you have a bunch of potholes in your town, and the mayor you have isn't doing anything, and there's more potholes coming. New mayor runs, I'm going to get rid of the potholes. He does, but it takes time, right, to get the contracts, to get the permits and everything. You can't blame him for the potholes before he fixed them. He fixed it. Trump fixed the system, cleaned out these detention centers, and Biden said in one of the debates, rush the border, and they did it. They're flying Biden flags as they travel here. It's in these marches towards the southern border.
You're explaining. By the way, Weezy, who do you about? Weezy. I agree. Weezy, a final question. Who do you think, you see all those T-shirts down at the border and the...
Oh, yeah. And the caravans? Let us in, Joe, and all this? Yeah.
Who do you think paid for those?
I'm not sure who paid for them. I don't even think...
What do you think? Take a guess. Take a best guess. Take a guess. Who do you think? Do you think the Mexicans paid for them?
Sense to me why they're wearing.
You don't know? Oh, you do? Really? Well, let me see if I can help you make. Let me see if I can help it make sense for you. The Biden people, they took our.
Yeah.
Approached all the T-shirt shops in Mexico, and they got these Biden shirts put together. The Biden people paid for it because it's a political thing.
They misjudged the reaction.
Does that sound?
Could be possibly true, but I think maybe avoid the fact that we didn't get to what I actually called in about. But I'm gonna let you go because you're.
Oh, she's gonna let us go. All right, no, we're gonna let you go. I let you go first. All right, listen. It is 3 minutes after 8. Less than an hour to go. Just 57 minutes left in the program. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Yeah.
People watching the television and all this kind of stuff with these Biden T-shirts. Do you think most people ask themselves where those shirts came from? And who financed them?
No. I think more specifically, I think Kamala Harris is responsible for those shirts because she wants Biden out. But that's just my thought. Listen, let's take our break. It's 4 minutes after. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's K-A-N-E and the number 1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are State of Florida certified roofing and general contractors, focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Hurricane season is right around the corner. This gives us only a short period of time to make sure your roof and home is ready for the 2021 hurricane season. So don't delay and call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Our website is www.laportacontracting.com, where you will find our latest video and live testimonials from a few of our past clients. Our number again is 954-604-4602.
Brian Craig here. I've been telling you for years how great MyPillow products are, but don't just take my word for it. This is one of our listeners, Todd. He bought the MyPillow mattress topper, and he called us live on the radio to tell us about his experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Yeah, I'm calling to get testimonial about my pillow topper.
You ordered the MyPillow
Steve Kane Show.
Topper?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about it.
Well, I'm thinking about buying a new mattress. My mattress was getting old, so my wife's like, "Why don't you try that pillow, that mattress topper?" So when I used your promo code Kane, I got great price.
Okay, hold on. Steve Kane Show.
Oh, that's awesome. Like a whole new mattress.
Yep, what's your name? Good, what do you want to talk about? Okay.
mattress, then after a while you'd flip it over. Now you can't flip mattresses anymore. They don't make them that way anymore because people weren't buying mattresses enough. So the mattress company stopped making two-sided mattresses, and mattresses are expensive. I've had to buy a new mattress, and mattresses can cost well over, just for a regular normal mattress, over $1,000. So that MyPillow mattress topper is a big savings. It saved you from buying a new mattress.
No, guys, Wheezy,
And, turn your whole bed into a
Wheezy is in a transformational period.
Well, that's great.
She's agrees with us on pretty much everything. She's frustrated, not at the issues. She's frustrated that she's agreeing with us. You know, and she's having all kinds of problems because of it.
But you got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper. Turn your old mattress into a big MyPillow mattress. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of
Yeah,
assets?
that's her frustration. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you like the video, that you are subscribed, click that notification bell, and share the video on all of your social media. But liking helps a lot as far as getting the video recommended. And by the way, that goes for my podcast episodes too. If you don't go and check out my podcast, go and check out and like my podcast. That helps get them recommended more to like-minded MAGA people. That, you know, everyone's always talking about that YouTube algorithm. That's how the algorithm operates. All right, third and final hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here, and I am looking at our phone board of carefully screened calls, screening out all the riffraff and all that.
I'm going to give you a chance to take something back. You said that I know.
Who knows?
You don't believe that Kamala did this T-shirt gig on her own?
Where I really think the T-shirts came from is they came from the Biden-Harris campaign, and yeah, they probably had a bunch of leftover T-shirts that nobody wanted to wear during the campaign, because I didn't see too many T-shirts around. They had a surplus, and they sent them down there. No, I think Kamala Harris is working behind the scenes against Biden to come in. Really? You think so? Yeah, maybe. All right, well, now listen. If you're just tuning in, Steve has passed down a directive, an executive order, which is maybe only the third time you've ever done this in all the years I've known you, is that we're screening the calls to only discuss the southern border issue, that none of these side issues like the Boulder shooting, et cetera, will be discussed by our callers with us. So we're going to go to the phones. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE1, K-A-N-E, and the number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Oh, carefully screened as I did. Good morning. You're on the air. I was just talking to this person once, twice. All right, let's go to our next carefully screened calls. Good morning. You're on the radio. Oh, it helped. Okay, now you're on. Good morning. There you are. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Tina.
Hey, Tina.
I'm one of the news channels, because I just watched too much, so now I can't remember which one it was, but they were saying that Biden now wants to take a bunch of these
Steve Kane Show.
refugees, put them on airplanes, and send them to different states.
What do you want to talk about?
It's horrible, the conditions these children are living under. But we don't want them. They need to go back.
Well, here's the big change with Biden was this. By the way, turn the volume down of whatever device you're listening to us on in the background. Radio, computer, TV, phone, whatever it is, because of the delay. What Biden has done, we talked a little bit about this with the attorney from Texas before the top of the hour break. What they do is once they get across the U.S. border, they have access to ACLU attorneys, La Raza attorneys, Democrat National Committee attorneys, et cetera, et cetera. When they're in Mexico, they don't have access to that. So Biden brought them over here so that they have access to these La Raza ACLU attorneys, and they are going to be they're already being sent all over the country. And they even said some of them are going to go as far north as the northeastern Canadian border. And they're going to enroll them in schools. You know, I mean, it's and yeah. I mean that's what's happening. And I think you're right, Steve. At some point, it's going to leak out that of a COVID outbreak directly resulted from this, and it could very much be like Cuomo's nursing home scandal with the COVID.
For them to shut us down.
Maybe.
And it's sickening. I think the only thing that's going to save us is if we get Trump back.
Well, yeah.
And I think eventually that will happen, but I just trying to think, based on what I'm looking at, what the country's going to look like at that time. I mean,
Oh, you know, Steve, things will be fine. We'll survive it. I saw yesterday, and I hope some of you did. Did you see this press conference with Kristi Noem yesterday? From the governor of South Dakota, the Republican? Oh my goodness. I've seen her talk here and there as a guest, and I've seen like her campaign ads. She was in a press conference live, and the press hate her like they hate Trump. She handled them like Trump. One guy asked her a stupid question. You really think so, huh? You think? I mean, let me tell you something. Kristi Noem would be the perfect vice presidential running mate for Donald Trump in 2024. I was blown away by her in this press conference yesterday. She's the best.
Just annihilated them.
And this border issue she would be a great person for us to get out there highlighting this issue. She is, let me tell you, she's as close to being as good at Trump with the press as I've ever seen an elected official. She even surpasses Ron DeSantis, which is not easy to do. He's great. He's the best. But Kristi Noem is better. I mean, I was blown away by her. Not just her good looks, by the way.
She is beautiful. But the other question is, what will the country look like by the time Donald gets it back?
It'll look like a country that needs to be saved by Donald Trump.
It's going to take him probably more than 70 swipes of the pen.
You know what Trump's campaign slogan will be? I got to make America great again. Because it's I mean, you know, everything, it's going to be a mess, but it'll be a mess that he will clean up. I mean, And
he will be swift about it.
Yeah.
But he's not going to get in there
well, less than 4 years.
Yeah, he will.
Less than 4 years, Steve. We got less than 4 years. The next election's the midterms. So we got by the way, thanks for the call. We've got the midterms, which he's going to, he's backing all these great Republicans to get rid of these rhinos. Well, just over a year and a half is the midterms, and after that, the presidential campaign will start. After Trump has his victory in the midterms, he'll announce his presidential campaign's officially starting. And he's going to have a sweep. We're going to have a sweep in the midterms because of the disaster with Biden and Harris.
I hope it's in time.
No. Well, the time, we can't change the time. The time is the time, but it'll be fine. All right, let's take some more. Let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Gary from Wisconsin.
Steve Kane Show.
Hey, Gary.
You know...
What do you want to talk about?
Okay, when Obama was in office and
Hold on.
these immigrants started coming in, which Weezy fails to recognize, is the numbers weren't as high as the time when, as of now, because these, now they call them, retaining centers, which is kind of a false narrative, but the numbers of people that are in them retention centers or welcome centers, you might as well call it, is overwhelming. You know, and
Steve Kane
fails
Show.
to look at that,
Yep, what do you want to talk about?
Part of her argument, she wasn't agreeing on a lot of the things, but the numbers now of all these immigrants that are coming in is just overwhelming.
Oh yeah, and they even said that one of the officials said not only can they not, there's too many coming in to handle, and they don't even have a COVID testing process down there.
Well, that's the game changer. Everything changes if there's an outbreak of COVIDs. which, by the way, I'm scheduled to get my shot on.
Oh, you're getting your vaccine this weekend? Yeah, first one.
So if I'm not here on Monday,
you'll be fine.
She wanted to do it, so I mean, it's like, okay, well, that's your choice, Mom. But like if all of a sudden this COVID now, with all these immigrants that are coming in and not being tested, this is on the Biden administration for those rise in COVID.
well,
Yeah, but
that's the potential game changer. If there's a major outbreak, because that's what we're talking about. A couple of cases here and there.
Disappointed?
It's not
Not at all.
gonna change the scenario.
What am I disappointed
But
about?
if there is a major outbreak down there, and by the way, if there is no major outbreak after what I've seen carrying on, not just in Mexico, but when I watched it in Miami the other night,
Yeah.
there's not a major kick up of the COVID's rate.
Yeah.
It showed.
Yeah. Yeah.
The last thing I'm going to add is this is going to be basically for Trump in 2024 the biggest, huge opportunity that people might actually wake up and say, well, we need Trump because he put law and order. He put a border in place. He set up for...
Well, caller, there's many problems Biden has here, but this has saved him in the press conference tomorrow, I believe, the shooting thing we were talking about earlier. But the thing about the COVID, okay, there will probably be an outbreak from them relocating the illegals around the country, and there's no way if they say, okay, we got to shut this town down or this state down again. People are so fed up with lockdowns and shutdowns and everything. It's going to be a disaster, another disaster for Biden if they have to do it.
Huge disaster.
It's a game changer.
All right. Hey, listen, caller, thanks for the call. All right. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. There's only one opening on our highly screened board of calls at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane and the number 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our first break of the last hour and be back. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian. Don't go anywhere.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at
Steve Kane Show. Yeah, hold on. You'll be next. Hold on.
and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family saw him around, man. It's everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man, and Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
This is Dr. Matez from the Bio
Steve Kane Show.
The Bio Station is America's premier age
Okay, what's your name? What do you want to talk about? Okay.
Doctor supervised with multiple options to treat erectile dysfunction and low testosterone. Erectile dysfunction may be a sign of a more serious issue, and our medical team can help you get to the root cause. Let us help you get to the source of the issues that are holding you back from leading a fulfilling life. If any degree of erectile dysfunction is holding you back, call me immediately at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Alrighty, welcome back. 22 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Steve. Here it is, the Steve Kane Radio Show. And you want to go back to the phone, Steve? All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hello? George, Fort Lauderdale. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, George. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to reinforce the Lady Texas lawyer's point. It's that they should be called migrants, not refugees. These are not refugees. These are...
Refugee is the stat. That's why they say crime. It's unsafe, so they can be declared a refugee and they get to stay here. Yeah, you're correct. Okay, yeah.
In this case, yeah, they may be.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's a good point. Too word gamey for me, but I get the point. You know, it was just a slip on Steve's part. Don't crucify the man. That's what happened. You must have watched some liberal on TV say that, and it just flew off his tongue early in the morning. That's what happened. All right.
That at this point that Biden's going to escape this whole issue.
Yeah.
Shooting thing. And I give him a reprieve. I'll give you that. Slow down.
Well, it got him through. I would say. Let me what I was telling you is, Steve. He's not off the hook for the border, but their immediate panic was to get him through the press conference tomorrow, and the shooting will get him through the press conference.
What happens today has anything to do with that?
I think everything today is going to be about the shooter, pretty much. I don't think there's going to be anything new from the border.
Even if there's a major influx today?
There's a nonstop major influx as we're speaking. There's an influx every second.
That's going to get through.
No, not on television. Not on television. No, in fact, like I say, I was watching CNN last night just to get a gauge as to what the mainstream media are doing, and gun control is like food to these people. You know, they're on autopilot with it, and that's all they care about.
Well, that's the thing, and they'll try to
do
that. I just don't think they're going to be able to.
In the short term, I would say by Monday, Tuesday next week, it'll be back. But this is how the news cycle was working this week until 24 hours ago. The day before, 48 hours ago, the pictures leaked out of the kids on the concrete floor in the overcrowded cell in Texas. Yesterday, we were on the verge of a collapse of the Biden administration, right? On the eve of the press conference. The media were pissed because they were locked out. That he was going to be under siege in the press conference. He wasn't going to do well. Friday, that's all we would have been talking about. The gun control thing has gotten him an out. And the media, there'll be a couple of small questions. That's my prediction. There'll be a couple of times, unless there's a big incident today, there'll be a couple of questions in the press conference about it, but 90% is going to be the Boulder shooting. That would be my prediction. All right, you want to take more calls? Okay, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name?
It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Good morning, my favorite guy. So, this is just my opinion on what's going on at the border. I think that you have to be a special type of coward not to go down and see what your administration has caused. You're putting tar stuff over fences. You're not allowing press in. So people are taking pictures from the interior. You have to be a special type of coward to know that children are being abused on their way here. You're putting them in buses, shipping them.
Oh, yeah. You know, Steve, I don't. They're in another facility. It's in the hotel. You know, Steve, the Project Veritas, James O'Keefe went to the facility where we saw the pictures from the inside, and the television media, even Fox, they're so jealous of James O'Keefe because he gets real stories. He actually went in person to the facility where the kids are, the ones on the floor. The security ran him off. And he showed all this, and they were very nasty. He says, well, I'm with the media. I don't care who the hell you are. You got to get out of here. Then he goes to the airport, Steve, and rented an airplane and flew over the facility and showed it from the air what was going on. It was an unbelievable moment of journalism. And I haven't seen him interviewed on any of the television shows with this incredible aerial footage. He was showing the buses with the pregnant women in there. It was beautiful. Project Veritas, James O'Keefe is great. I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, James O'Keefe's not going to be distracted by the gun issue.
And Fox is not going to fall. Fox is. I think a lot of there are people in the media now who are beginning to identify Biden as a villain in this.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going away.
Well, what about the children that they're releasing to foster families?
Yeah, that are going to be enrolled in the public schools.
But not only that, like this is just a huge setup for the worst child trafficking. You're just releasing children to people, like picking out a puppy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is beyond.
Yeah.
He walks away from this unscathed.
He's a coward.
Biden's a coward. Well, you know, the thing about Biden, though, see, Biden is dealing with something that he's never had to deal with before right now. No, he's been dealing with that for a couple of years. No, accountability. He's never been in charge of anything. As a senator, they yay, nay, they scream on TV once in a while at a hearing. No accountability, no responsibility. Vice President Barack's doing everything. This is the first time in his life, like Hillary after Benghazi was the first time she had this happen. This is the first. Biden has never been held responsible for anything his whole life because he's never had responsibility before.
He's just an ego-driven coward. And you know who knows it? China, Iran.
He's a front man.
Well, or an employee. No.
But I think that he's a 100% coward. I think he's a disgrace to this country and what he has.
Do you know what? Hey, caller. Do you know what China calls Biden? No, I'm talking about what the Chinese call Biden. What do the Chinese call Biden? Our employee. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, take care. Let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll take our break for the bottom, come back with more calls right after this.
Brian Craig here. You've heard me tell you how I Will Advisors can help you solve your Medicare planning problems. And they've been a valued friend of our community for years. They also want to help you retire and stay retired with the income
stretching my legs
for a successful retirement. Call Debbie Klatzoff and Dan Frazier at I Will Advisors right now. 954-753-8080. Have them do a free, customized income for life report for you today. They can help you see if you have a plan that works for you and put your mind at ease. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080. I Will Advisors, your financial planning partners. Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now at Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to Champagne Automotive, and I gotta say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane here. It's the Steve Kane Show. Just a sad story. I just was reading online that George Siegel, the actor, passed away. George Siegel died, yeah. Complications to bypass surgery. You know, he's on a very good, I'm not into sitcoms too much, but he's been on a sitcom that's very good for many years called The Goldbergs. Oh, yeah, but he used to be a dramatic leading man, too, back in the day, and dead at 87. Yeah, well, it's been a long time. Well, he's 87. Complications from heart bypass surgery. Oh, my gosh, George Siegel. I love George Siegel. He's awesome. Awesome guy. Very funny. Oh, man. And in this show that he's on, he's played the grandfather on the Goldbergs for the last few years. He has not missed a beat. He's at, like, the top of his game. Well, not now, but, you know, he was. It's just terrible. Big loss. I hope they write it into the sitcom because it was pretty good. In fact, a couple of writers for that show listen to this program, liberal writers for that show that George Siegel's in. Listen to this program because they've I've gotten some feedback from them. I just was seeing online the president of Mexico is blaming the border crisis on Biden. So, yeah, you know, Biden's a foreign policy disaster. Russia has withdrawn their ambassador. North Korea isn't taking his calls. The Chinese talked to our people like dogs the other day, and now the Mexican president is blaming Trump for the border crisis on both sides of the border. He's a foreign policy disaster, Biden. I mean, this is...
period.
Yeah, but does he know it? I mean, that's the thing.
Will the public come to know it? That's the question.
Well, and 2 days ago, until yesterday, the public was wise up to it, and then until they got distracted with this Boulder shooting. You know, I'm not talking about it. I just referenced it. I mean, I'm not talking about it. Good morning. You're on the radio. Hey, Al.
Oh, hey. I have a question about what's been going on with this. In the past, I'm talking about because I haven't followed this. I mean, I know I've heard about what's going on, but I haven't followed every single thing about it. In the past, when we've had presidents, like Democratic presidents, obviously this is probably the worst. Have we've had these problems before with the with immigrants coming in?
Not like this. Because Biden, see this is the thing. Biden in one of the debates said, rush the border. He told them to do it. We've had problems before with Obama and there's always been problems at the border. Not like this.
Roosevelt had the great Democratic president. He had a problem with the...
Yes, he did.
The border, so to speak.
Yes.
He just...
Yeah, that's what he did, Roosevelt. He did a whole ship. But this is the first time a president has told them to rush the border. See? And also, most of the other presidents, when they came in, there was already an issue. Trump had cleaned the whole thing up. It has stopped. Between the wall, the Mexican army guarding the northern border, detaining people in Mexico, and COVID restrictions, it was solved.
That's the delicious irony of the whole thing, was that the problem had been solved by Trump, and Biden, through his ineptness, just opened it up.
See, Al, the other presidents, even Reagan had dealt with some things and did an amnesty. Every other president passed the buck, didn't do much because they thought it was a problem that couldn't be solved. And then you have President Trump, who comes from private business where results are mandatory or you're out of business, and he fixed it. And so what Biden is the first president to create the disaster at the southern border. See, they keep pointing, 2019, it was never like this, and Trump fixed it totally. You know what the difference is? It's like New York. It's like comparing New York when Giuliani left until today, right? Giuliani did a great job, and then you got de Blasio there, crimes up, shootings up, all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's like the old days. So you had a situation that was completely fixed, completely resolved, completely settled. He even had Mexico working on it, and Biden brought it back. So that's different.
One real quick thing about my brother keeps on saying this with how they're getting those shirts with Biden on it. The shirts. Obviously, you were saying what you guys saying about a political stunt, obviously, and stuff like that. But where are they? My brother thinks that the guy from Texas that ran for president. What's his name?
Beto? Oh, Julian Castro. The shirts, seriously speaking about the shirts, they're probably left over from the Biden-Harris campaign. They probably had a lot of shirts printed up that they never gave out and used, and they shipped them down there. And I'll tell you another thing. They're being the Biden team made a very serious media miscalculation. When the media go down and they interview these people that are in the camps trying to cross in, where they have the Biden flag, they learn to say in English, Biden let us in, Mr. Biden let us in, and a lot of them are saying this to the press. They don't speak English except for that, and they were coached by the Democrat operatives that are down there. The Biden administration thought, when you had these people saying, Biden let us in, that it was going to make the American people sympathetic to them. And it's backfired. I think that pisses people off. What do you guys think?
I think it does piss people off.
Yeah. I'm talking about liberals, especially, in Democrat California, for example, is opening up now. In April, they're even opening up Disneyland. So California, which has had the strictest lockdowns in America, is reopening. Do you think they want an inflow of thousands upon thousands of illegals into California that haven't even been tested after they've been shut down for over a year? No. In the Southern California, where most of the people are, Southern California's reopening could be stopped because of this.
They care because they want.
The Californians care. See, the Biden administration screwed up. And so far as Kamala, she's from California. You know, she should be, not only is she vice president, she was the senator from California. She should be out there.
I'll tell you something. The more I see of Kamala, the more of an asset I think she's going to be for us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's really pretty awful.
She's almost like working for MAGA. I think she might work for the Trump campaign, Kamala.
She's the coolest person, though.
She does as much for us as Kristi Noem could do.
Oh, she's shallow.
Yeah. Vacuous.
Unlikable. And she's going to be running the country.
Oh, my goodness.
So.
Is she capable?
She's capable of doing great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's gonna ruin it so much, I think, that people are gonna be begging for Trump, even people that didn't.
Well, what do you think, Al? What do you think, Al? Because I was telling Steve that the White House was in a panic over the Thursday press conference, and especially with the pictures of the kids in the facilities leaking out. Do you think that this shooting has gotten him through the press conference? Do you think it saved him?
Yeah, because of that happening, they're thinking, oh,
yeah.
Talk about this now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You can talk about both. Don't let something.
That's right. All right, Al. Hey, listen. Appreciate the call. You know what you need, Steve? You know what you need? Don't worry. No. You know, this is something you need for the house. You need the MyPillow mattress topper for your bed. And you have a California King, right? They come in size. They start in twin, go all the way up to California King. I've been hearing from our listeners about the MyPillow mattress topper, and every listener I've talked to tell me the exact same thing. It turns their entire bed into a big MyPillow. You have that MyPillow mattress topper. By the way, if you use your name, Kane, K-A-N-E, you check out 30% off. So, you know, between your mattress topper, your MyPillow under your head, and then that full body MyPillow that is the full length of the MyPillow body pillow, you'll never get out of bed. A MyPillow Mike Lindell cloud. But yeah, the MyPillow mattress topper, by the way, is a great gift for Mother's Day. You know, Mother's Day is coming up, and let me tell you something. You don't want to wait till the last minute to order things. Order now. Order early. The MyPillow mattress topper, 30% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And also, just one thing before we run, Steve. Laporta, they just sent me some aerial photographs. I'll send them to you guys. Yeah, the roof work is beginning. Yeah, and Tom sent me some aerial photographs of your home. This is the pre-work, and yeah, I think you need to trim that tree in the backyard, though. But I'm looking at the one that has no green on it.
Heading over that for
really the tree. Oh no, I think okay. Well, it needs.
What do they call it? Poinsettia.
Oh, okay, but it needs to go. But I'll tell you this, the tree. You know, but whatever. I'm just giving you a hard time. But listen, you did something that was a big mistake, and it's being repaired now thanks to Laporta Contract. You had a little leak on your roof. You ignored it, and look what happened. It became a bigger leak. It spread. It damaged the drywall in your home. You've got black mold now in your home that's being repaired. When you guys see a little tiny water spot on your ceiling, it might only be the size of a dime. It might be the size of a quarter. What's above it on your roof is huge. And don't do what Steve did. Don't ignore the problem. Take care of it before you run into bigger problems. Give Laporta Contracting a call. Tom Laporta, he's the owner. The number over there rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. He's a good guy. He's a big Trump guy, too. Okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Need done around the house, he can take care.
That's right. That's why he's taking care of your drywall with the black mold in it, too. So when you call this number, it rings directly to Tom Laporta's phone, all right? You don't have to go through any middle person, okay? 954 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. We'll be right back with the Gold Report after this.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Do you ever ask yourself, will I ever be able to retire? And if I do retire, how do I stay retired? Well, the good news is our friends at I Will Advisors right here in Coral Springs can help you answer those questions. I Will Advisors have a unique approach to income and retirement planning that's focused on your needs and desires for a successful retirement. Debbie Klatzoff and Dan Frazier at I Will Advisors want to talk with you and provide you with an income for life report. This report will help you map out how to control when you can retire and make sure once you retire, you stay retired. Call Debbie Klatzoff and Dan Frazier at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080. I Will Advisors, your financial planning partners.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
That you all have waited for, the Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman Inc. 50 years advising
Steve Kane
clients
Show.
on trends and movements in the
Steve
gold
Kane Show.
market. We've been
Yep, what do you want to talk about?
privileged to have,
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
William be doing this Gold Report.
Okay, you'll be
now
next.
for 17 years on the Steve Kane Show, and he joins us and tells us how things are looking at all the precious metals, and he does deal in all those precious metals. Let's see what we can expect today. William, how are you?
Great, Steve. How you doing?
Excellent.
Good. Well, the precious metals are doing what they've been doing for weeks now, and that is trading in a very narrow range. And that range seems to be even narrowing some more, which means that the spring is getting wound tighter and tighter for what will be probably a big move coming soon. And that being said, gold was back down from the 1740 level, back down to 1727.40 yesterday, closing down $11.90. Silver back down to that $25 number, down 71 cents yesterday at 25.02 closing. Platinum dropped $17 yesterday, closing at $11.60, and palladium dropped $14 at $2,515. And as has been the case for weeks now, the market reversed itself again today, back up. Gold up $5.60 right now at $1,733. Silver up 28 cents at $25.30 the ounce, while platinum is up $20 at $1,180, gaining back all of yesterday's loss and more. And palladium is up $35 at $25.50. So the markets, as I said, continue in this trading range, giving us plenty of opportunities to accumulate at these lower levels, and certainly down significantly from the highs that we saw last year. So this is a great opportunity to continue to just add to your portfolios whenever you have some money to be protected.
Well, that's exactly.
Selling.
Anymore, or something is broken, or silverware, you can bring it in.
And by the way, William Youngerman, you hear us say all the time, been in business here 50 years, half a century. And in this type of business, you stay in business because of the great word of mouth about integrity, honesty, and all of that. And when you go in there to turn something into cash, or you take in coins for an appraisal, you can trust your appraisal is an accurate appraisal of the value. Listen, give them a call. They open up weekdays at 10, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. You can find them online at williamyoungerman.com, and the address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, on the first floor of the Bank of America building. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk tomorrow. All right, take care, take care. All right, yes, let's take some more calls. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Hey, Sheila, you're on the air.
Sheila.
Hey, how you doing, Steve? How you doing, Bob?
Good.
You know, the taxpayer disgusted. I was thoroughly disgusted with the way everything, and Trump had it under control. You have no idea how many people out there want him back in office. It's a disgrace what they're doing. And just to get off the pivot, what's the deal with Kamala not being able to salute? She's getting off and on.
Oh, yeah, Kamala Harris. I know, this tells you how petty she is. She is not, when she boards Air Force Two, she does not salute the honor guard there, or the pilots or anything, which is out of the loop of any other vice president. They always salute, even though they're not the commander-in-chief, and she hasn't done it once. And now that people have brought attention to it, you can be sure she won't do it. You know what I mean? Because no one's going to tell Kamala what to do. But do you think it's a statement, caller? What do you think that means?
I don't know. I don't know why she's doing that. It's just disgrace. It's like she's basically effing. Yes.
Oh.
I got.
Well, as she's an extreme, she's not just a Democrat. Yeah, she's that. And she's not just a California Democrat communist. She's a San Francisco Democrat. You know what I mean? So that's even, and you know where she, there's a thing about Kamala that people don't understand. You know where she grew up, right, caller? You know where she grew up?
Originally from Canada?
No. She's from California. She was born in California, and her parents divorced. And when she was a young child, her mother took her to Canada. And she grew up in Canada until she came back home to America to go to college. So this thing about saluting and everything, she didn't grow up in America, and those are the years when you learn about these things. She's more African Canadian than African American, if you get my drift. So she doesn't really understand America because she didn't grow up here. She grew up in Canada, which is another country, okay? So she doesn't even, I don't think she realizes she's supposed to salute. I really don't. But because people are,
interacting.
Listen, the last person to tell Kamala Harris what to do was Willie Brown, and no man has told her what to do ever since, I promise you that. But, the question is, yeah.
D pads and P pads and all.
Uh-huh. Now, let me ask you this. Now, watch yourself. Got a truck driver mouth. We're on the radio. Okay, we're on the radio. When she's president, do you think she'll salute when she boards Air Force One?
No.
Really?
I think she's going to be totally disrespectful.
Well, yeah. Really? You think so? Yeah. Well, they're doing it now. This story was like 2 days old. Hello?
President is when people are going to be watching.
Yeah, that's true. But because they're making a big deal about it in the press, she's not going to want to do it because she doesn't want anyone telling her what to do, especially a man.
And a real.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I thought you were going to say something else with a B. No. Almost. Hey. Now, come on now, as a woman, aren't you excited to have it? She's the highest ranking woman ever in federal government. You're not excited by that?
No.
Really?
Great. We all know she has a past.
Really? Mm-hmm.
When she put she jails people with marijuana. All they were doing was smoking marijuana, and she goes freely on these dumb shit.
Oh, the cackles, that's deadly. The other day, though, they got her, they got themselves in a bit of a mess at the White House, and these stories allow that they get away with so much. Did you see this? The Biden White House, they fired a bunch of employees because in the past they had smoked marijuana, and then the press said, well, wait a minute, Kamala was on doing interviews a few months ago bragging about listening to Tupac before he recorded any music, she was listening to Tupac and smoking weed. So is Kamala Harris out too? And then the White House says, well, we didn't fire them just because they smoked marijuana. There were other things too. But, you know. All right, hey, listen. Thanks for calling.
From the Biden ticket.
That's a good question. Oh, look what we have on the line. Richard Pearl, whose show's coming up next. Richard Pearl on politics. What's on deck for your show today, Richard Pearl?
Also, a lot about how woke the left is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, that's great. Well, at least they're experts. At least they have experience. They have experience, Richard Pearl. You know, this thing with the shooter, when they thought the shooter was a white guy, they were so excited. They were like jumping up and down. I mean, then yesterday they find out he's not, and it's like you could tell there was a letdown. I mean, it was like boom. You know.
Thing, but you know.
Oh my. Oh my. Wow. Wow. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, listen, everyone, do not touch that radio dial, because coming up next is Richard Pearl with his show, Richard Pearl on Politics, which airs on this radio station weekdays immediately following the Steve Kane Show. You can also listen to him on the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app, searching for the station call letters WWNN. And Richard Pearl's store, Simply Natural, with all the great nutraceuticals we so often talk about that both Steve and I take, is located in the city of Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University. They're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. And the number is 954-741-4045. 954-741-4045. Richard Pearl, have a great show. We'll be tuned in and we'll talk tomorrow. All right, Steve, just enough time to say goodbye.
Well, we are out of here, and we'll be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. You be sure to join Brian at that time, and I'll join you a little later in the show. So until tomorrow, on behalf of our technical director, Tyler Kane, the greatest son a man could have, and Brian, the greatest producer a man could ever have, and of course I'm just Steve Kane. See you tomorrow. God bless America.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, that's it. All right, guys. Now listen, before you go, do me some favors, okay? Make sure you're subscribed and you click the notification bell and like the video. If you're already subscribed, liking the video is very helpful. Sharing the video helps too. And if you have other YouTube accounts or your spouse does, subscribe on those too and like the video. That all helps. It gets the word out about the show. It gets it when you like, subscribe, click the notification bell. It helps recommend the program to other like-minded, MAGA people, and that's important. Also, make sure you go and check out my podcast. I have a new episode last night, and like those episodes too of my podcast. All that helps get the program recommended to other people on YouTube that think the way we do, which is great. So guys, I appreciate it. I gotta run, but I'll see you next time. All right, thanks for watching, and if you could do all those things, I'll be so happy. All right, thank you so much, guys, for everything.